6th City Council work session to order at, I don't have a time. Madam Clerk, do you have a time?
6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock. Thank you so much. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Mayor Danya Sauter,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Miller, Councilmember Alfred Dixon,
Present.
Councilmember Messick, Councilmember Kearney,
Present.
Councilmember Cameron Dixon, and Councilmember Fox.
Present.
We have a quorum, and let the record reflect that Mayor Pro Tem Miller and Councilmember Cameron Dixon absent.
All right, thank you so much. Council, we have an agenda before us. I know, Madam Clerk, you have a few things to let the record reflect that Councilman C. Dixon, just going through all the alphabet, is here with us today. I know you had some additions, Madam Clerk.
Yes, we would like to remove, under presentation, Mayor's presentation, Teacher of the Year recognition, that'll be held at a later time. We also would like to add to the agenda the two following items, the first one being.
I don't think your mic is on. Are y'all here?
I gotta
Okay,
speak in two.
there you go.
We also, so let me repeat, we would like to remove, under Mayor's presentation, Teacher of the Year recognition. That'll be held at a later time. I would like to add council to consider approval of appointment for Associate Solicitor in the Municipal Court for the City of Jonesboro. And we would also like to add,
That would be item H up under new business.
thank you,
Appointment of the solicitor will be H, and appointment of the associate judge will be I.
aye, okay. That's all that I have for now.
I believe there was a just under, I guess it could be old business, old business. Council, did you all want to, so the financial reports are typically only given during the regular meeting. However, Ms. Karen is here, and I know I provided some information for you. Are there some questions you all want to have? She's not prepared to give a full report, but can see what direction and what information you all would like for next week when the report is scheduled to be done. Do y'all want me to add her?
No, we can add an, I don't need financial reports.
Okay,
but
perfect.
Forensic audit.
Okay, we were gonna add that, but I wanted to make sure. Okay, y'all good? Okay, perfect. Also, Attorney Wiley, which one needs to be removed in regard to, so I can state for the record? Was it item B that was gonna be tabled?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes, ma'am. There will be no hearing on the variance request 26-VAR-001, is that correct?
Correct, so the hearing wasn't today, but this item won't be discussed at all.
Okay.
All right, perfect. So item B under new business, and then old business, we can add item A, update on forensic audit. That can be up under old business. Forensic audit. All right, council, let me just briefly go over those additions for you. I'm sorry, please. forgive me.
Thank you. Just one more addition to the agenda, and that was to discuss the fence on Jodica Road.
Okay, have you spoken with Marcus, because we were already?
Yeah, just wanted to get an update.
Okay, we're still working on that, so
Okay.
there's no update right now. He has to go. Marcus, when did you and I talk about that? Last week, Friday? Yeah, so can we give us some time to work on that?
Is there anything to share? Anything at all to share?
No, I haven't had time. I was gonna go out there with him, and I didn't have a chance to go today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mayor, I wanted to add something. I'm not sure. For,
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna do a better job at this, because I kinda got chastised, so y'all raise your hand, wait for me to look over at you, and then call your name.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to be very, now, Councilwoman Fox.
thank you. Electronic communication to mayor and council,
All right, that
That's-
could be under new business B.
and policy and procedure. I have several things underneath that, so I'm just gonna title it policy and procedure.
Well, it needs to be broken down if they're separate items, so just
Okay.
call them out for me. C.
Okay, policy and procedure regarding, I guess, correspondence and writing a letter in my official capacity to outsiders in the use of the city logo.
Madam Clerk, did you not provide that information to her?
Yes, I basically provided what the charter states, and it would be, mayor would be the final approver,
Not the seal, but the logo.
both.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same response.
And the communication to officials, to other people, I wanted to.
Upon mayor's approval, I really couldn't give a.
Well, we'll go ahead and put that on
Okay.
discussion. I thought it was clear, your email, so. I don't know, okay.
Yeah, I would like, the discussion about logo, because I just need some more clarification.
And I probably need some more, so I'm not sure how much we can get you, but, because I just asked her to provide for you what we had.
Okay.
So let me make sure we have it. B was electronic,
Communication between mayor and council. Oh, electronic communication to mayor and council, excuse me.
from who?
From myself.
Okay.
I just want to address an email that was sent out today.
Okay. C, discussion of the logo.
And authorization, or I guess approval for letters, writing a letter to a business or a citizen in my official capacity.
Did we provide that information for her?
Well, that's what you were just referencing earlier,
Right,
correct?
exactly.
Yeah.
I want a discussion about it.
So that's the one I responded, upon mayor's approval, but as far as writing the letter, that the both.
Well, I don't
of
know
you
what the
two-
charter says, so we'll
Yeah.
probably need some time to defer to look into that, but we never had a problem with it, but.
Yeah, I couldn't really find anything in the charter, to reflect that.
Well, that's
All right.
why I want to have a discussion about it.
Okay.
All right, so that
Thank
is
you.
correspondence from council. Okay,
Madam Mayor,
yes.
item C is the Jonesboro, as published, it's the Jonesboro Education Trust discussion. So with the policy discussion.
I had moved all that
Are
under,
you gonna move that?
yeah, I'm sorry, I was doing it from, so that's gonna actually all go up under. So we got I for associate, HIJ. We got electronic. I think that's just communication between me and Ms. Fox, 'cause we had a little communication today. Okay, then we have HIJK. We have, she wants to know something about a logo. HIJKL, she wants to know about some correspondence. All right. Anything else?
Mayor,
Yes.
I just have a quick question. I know we're considering adding discussion of the solicitor and the judge. Should we not do that in executive session first?
Because last time we didn't go into executive session, because y'all got an argument with them, who's gonna be?
No. This is the first I've seen that we've.
Yeah, we should have did it the first of the year, and then we were reading back through, we realized that we didn't have one appointed.
So these are the same returning individuals?
I think the only one that is new would be the solicitor, but we deferred to Mrs. Kurt and asked her who she wanted.
Okay.
And Centrella has those correspondence. Yes, ma'am.
Madam Mayor, for clarification, the additions, we removed item B, and so did C become B, or was B
Yeah, so let me go
replaced?
through them, I'm gonna walk through it one more
Okay,
time, that
thank
might
you,
help.
thank
I just
you.
wanted to get all the additions. Any other additions? Okay, perfect. Now, there are no mayor presentations for this evening. We've added old business discussion of the forensic audit. We removed B. So everything pushes up. And then we've added a new business. G would be appointment of the associate solicitor. H is appointment of the associate judge. I, J, and K were additions by Councilwoman Fox regarding communication, logo, and correspondence. Council, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda with said changes, if they are correct.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Any discussion?
Any discussion?
Can you just list those out for me, please?
Well, I don't really have them. Again?
Yeah, just for the record, I just need to understand.
Yes, please, thank you. I would just label them and writing them down with shorthand.
Number, on this 7, old business, we will have a discussion of the forensic audit. Under A business, we will have A, we will discuss the conditional use permit application. B will be the discussion regarding the Jonesboro Education Trust. C will be the discussion regarding the proposed IGA between the city and the DDA. D will be the proposal regarding the newsletter committee. E will be the resolution regarding quarterly reporting from boards, authorities, and committees. F will be the consideration of an MOU between the Clayton County and the city of Jonesboro regarding the winter weather building. G will be council to consider appointment to solicitor of city solicitor. H will be council to consider appointment of judge, municipal court judge. I will be discussion regarding electronic communication between the mayor and council. J will be the use of the logo, discussion regarding the use of the logo. And K will be discussion regarding the use of the city seal.
Not city seal, I'm sorry, communication, let me read this out. So maybe you can help me craft it. I asked what was the official, the proper policy and procedure in my official capacity when writing a letter to a citizen or a business in partnership. The response was authorization and approval obtained by the mayor.
So K would be discussion regarding the use of city letterhead for official communications.
Yes, I guess we can do that, yes. Thank you.
I think that's it, Madam Mayor.
All righty, thank you so much. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? All right, thank you so very much. This time, council, we will have our public comment. There you go. You'll have 3 minutes. You'll just be nice and respectful. There you go. Come on, Ms. Nguyen. If you would state your name for me.
Hello, my name is Linda Wans. I live at 213 Lee Street on the corner of Huey and Lee Street. I have an enormous tree, and if you would like to drive by and see it, it is still up. I probably possess 3 of the largest trees in the city of Jonesboro, 2 which are still standing. My coming before you tonight was to let you know, rather than complain silently about it to all the neighbors who witnessed this, I would like to address you and let you know how this business transaction went with Toby Spire's Tree Service. I have cards here. I don't know if I approach you. Here's who we'll be discussing.
You can hold on to it.
Okay, I'll sit them here.
Thank you.
This is the permit I obtained in September. In December, I called and asked if it was good for any time. I was told yes, until the tree was down. So I updated it in December because the inclement weather, the ice storms, the rain, I have to have, the tree is so huge that I have to have 3 consecutive days of work to get the tree down. So do stop by and look at it, because now stands the trunk of it that's only halfway the size of the tree, and it's enormous. I got the permit. The gentleman came to cut the tree down in late December. Half of the tree was removed. It was enormous, so the other half remained. The reason they stopped working was because I went out midday around 3 o'clock and said, there's a red flag alert on the weather station. I had been glued to the weather station. And a red flag alert means that the winds are too high to be doing, and they listed a whole list of things. Well, trees was number 1. So I went out and said, please do not endanger your men. When you see the tree, you will understand why I was upset. Anyway, they stopped. The next day it rained, of course. Then we had ice, then we had snow, we had everything. And they started to do the tree again last week. Now keep in mind, I've got 1 half hanging over my house, it's still up. Paperwork is still good, called and updated it. I'm in the surgeon's office. I get a call because there is a gentleman screaming, hollering loudly, threatening to arrest, cease and desist, that if his command was not taken, they would all be fined and be taken away to jail. Profanity began by a city employee. I was a school teacher. I've heard every story in the world. I don't believe anything that I hear. The next morning I came back to, meanwhile, nothing could be done. 1 o'clock, we were cleared because somebody read the paperwork. That was all in line. So this gentleman who's taking this tree down has wasted a whole half a day from 8 o'clock until 1 that he can't take this tree down. And my problem is I love my city. I don't want to leave my city.
Time.
And I don't like the profanity that was used with a businessman who was doing a job he was paid for, and I had everything, and the ducks were in the row.
Thank you. I'll follow up with you, Ms. Nguyen.
Pardon me?
I'll follow up with you. That was your time.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Here's the cards if you need to check anything out. I just don't want my city to be thought of as rude to do business with, and I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nguyen. All right, next we have Kendra.
Well, this is the second, I'm sorry, this is the second.
Yeah,
time
Ms.
this
Wentz,
happened.
yeah, that's fine.
This is the first-
Yeah, okay, Ms. Wentz, thank you.
That's why I'm upset.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kendra. My email, my address is 2210 Chase Lake Drive, Jonesboro, Georgia, 30236. Good evening, council. I'm founder of She is the Village, and I'm here in support of bringing the JET program to Jonesboro. The JET program is not just another initiative, it's a structured pathway that connects our children, their parents, community partners, and financial institutions into one aligned ecosystem focused on civic engagement and financial growth. Here's why I think it should be considered. For one, right now, with our economical climate that is going on, there is something called the Trump Elections Accounts. I'm pretty sure our tax professional can attest to this account. This election account is actually an index account that is available to all newborns that was born in 2025 all the way up to December the 31st of 2028, where there will be $1,000 deposited into this savings account and available to them when they graduate at the age of 18. With this being something that is offered on a national level, as well as another program called K2C, who does the same funding program for their children and has over 7 million nationwide, I felt Jonesboro should adopt this very project. Reason why. Jonesboro is a community that is rich in potential. We have youth who are intelligent, creative, and capable. What many of them lacked is a structured exposure to financial literacy, long-term planning, and tangible incentives tied to civic responsibility. The JET program bridges that gap. It introduces children to the fundamentals of savings, banking, relationships, and wealth building. Not in college, not after debt, but early. Second, it strengthens families. When children participate in structured savings and civic engagement programs, parents become engaged as well. Conversations shift from what are we spending to what are we building. That shift alone changes generational outcomes. And third, it creates partnership opportunities for financial institutions right here in Jonesboro. Local banks and credit unions, which unfortunately we don't have here in Jonesboro, gain early relationships with future customers. Community partners gain visibility. Our city gains a reputation for forward-thinking leadership that invests in youth, not just socially, but beneficially. But because, and here's why I think it should be in Jonesboro, and we should adopt this, because Jonesboro is positioned to lead. We already have civic infrastructure. We have youth leadership through the youth city government. We have engaged council members. We have community organizations ready to support implementation. And we have families who want more for their children. So the JET programs aligns with economic development, workforce readiness, and community stabilization. When young people understand how money grows over time and see incentives tied to service and responsibility, we aren't just teaching theory, we're building ownership. So this is about planting seeds now that compound for decades. The question is not whether our children are capable, it's whether we're willing to provide that framework. So Jonesboro can be the example city and continue to set precedents and not wait for outcomes, but design them. So I
Fine.
strongly encourage consideration of the JET program.
Thank you so much. Attorney Wiley and Madam Clerk, can y'all come up for a second? Hi, I just need to step off the dais, take care of a little emergency right quick. Mayor Tracy Messick, I would entertain a motion for Tracy Messick to assume my duties just until I get back. If you all could shift the forensic audit until I get back, it should only take me about 10 or 15 minutes. Can I entertain a motion for Councilwoman Messick to assume my role as presiding officer?
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you all so much.
Madam Presiding Officer, I would say, I think we need to, before you begin and we continue on, I think the clerk noted that we probably need a formal motion on the approval of the amendments to the agenda. I think it was done but it wasn't done in the way
It was
that the clerk.
ayes and nays.
The ayes and the nays. So if you could just,
A
Go
formal
ahead
motion
and-
for
Yeah,
the
motion and a
agenda.
second.
a motion and a second to
For the
approve the
amended.
amended agenda.
Okay, council, let's pick up right there where we left off. So do we have a formal motion for all the spoken additions and subtractions from the agenda as presented?
So made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, council. Okay, council, moving forward, Attorney Wiley, was that the end of our public comment?
Was there any, let me see.
See if there was any more public comment.
Looks like we got one more.
We do. Thank you, council. Moving forward, we do have some more public comment. Ronnie Wells, would you please come forward?
It's good to be back.
Mr. Wells, you're well known, but if you will please state your name and address for the
Yes.
record.
Ronnie Wells, 200 Southland Drive. I had a stroke last year, but I'm glad to be back here. I'm here in support of the JET program. I was here when it started back in 2023. Did some research, and I know one reason why I'm in support of it is because if we start kids out at kindergarten to start saving for the college education, there will be a greater incentive for the citizen to stay here. And the more citizens you have in Jonesboro, the more revenue we make. Because we make money off of property taxes, off of city taxes, off of fines, anything. And so that's a great incentive. Right now, I'm in the process of setting up the Jonesboro Youth City Government as a foundation, a nonprofit. And in that way, it'll give all of our sponsors a deeper reason to donate to the JET program. And so again, thinking about the revenue that can be brought back to the city and staying here. Not only that, when people hear about Jonesboro has a JET program and we're helping out kids, that means that more people will be interested in coming to the city of Jonesboro. So from a financial perspective, I think it'll be a huge benefit for the city of Jonesboro. And that was it. Less than 3 minutes this time.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Wells. We have one more person for public comment on the agenda this evening, Ms. Wendy Taylor. Welcome, Ms. Taylor. If you would please state your name and your address for the record, please.
Yes, Wendy Taylor, 3595 Buckhead Loop, Atlanta, Georgia. I was invited here by Councilman Dixon. And the JET program, I think, is an awesome opportunity. My kids grew up in Newton County, and we didn't have anything like this. And when I read the proposal, the first thing that came to my mind was a Community 529 program. And so many kids, their parents can't afford that. But this would be an awesome opportunity for kids that are inwardly driven and motivated, that they want to do something, that they could actually put in the sweat equity and earn the dollars towards their future. And so I just think this is an awesome thing because we need to teach work ethics to our children. And for kids that when they have an opportunity to engage in an extracurricular activity, like say a trip, for example, I think the funds should be flexible so they could use them for things like that. My kids were in Technology Student Association and they went on trips every year. And those trips were important because things I had taught them, they gave them a chance to put them into action, and they taught them how to budget. Oh, Mom, you gave me too much money this time, or Mom, you didn't give me enough. And so when they went off to college, they were well prepared. And I think that it starts in the very beginning. You've got to start kids at young. Also will help adults, because kids just see you put your money in the ATM machine or swipe your card, and they don't understand, they don't connect how difficult it is to earn it. So I think this starts teaching them that from a young age, and that helps parents too, because if the whole family starts kind of understanding how money works, I think that's very important. So this is a program that it should be in every city and encourage kids to learn how to work for what they want. So also, if you offer things like a STEM experience, that could help expose them to a lot of different things. Kids, when they're 17 or 18, we have them go off to college, but they really don't know what they want to do. So if you had things in your community where if you attend this, it's helping that child's mind to stretch and grow and have a different mindset, you're growing and nurturing citizens of the future and preparing them for careers of the future and things like that will make your city a better place to live and work and grow and help retain them here, so you don't have to keep going outside getting new citizens, new people to work in your city. So I think it's an awesome opportunity, and I hope you all decide to do that.
Thank you. All right, council, let's move forward with moving into old business.
Oh, yes, Councilwoman Messick, this is the one that the mayor recommended to the body, if you all would move this to the bottom. So until she returns, it's up to this will of this body if you want to do that. I don't think it takes a formal vote, you just, as presiding officer, move it to the bottom under before.
Do old business
adjournment.
after new business?
Yes, ma'am, I think that was the request, until she returns.
Okay, we can certainly do that. Okay, let's move on to new business. Ms. Jewett? Yes.
Item A, council to discuss conditional use permit application 26-CUP-001 submitted by Tapestry School, Inc. The request is to operate a public charter school serving students in grades 6 through 10. The property is located at 142 College Street, Jonesboro, Georgia 30236, parcel number 13241C, C014.
Good evening, council and citizens of the community. The item before you is a request for a conditional use permit to operate a public charter school for grades 6 through 10. The subject property is on R2 Single Family Residential and is located in the AH Overlay District. The parcel is approximately 5.04 plus or minus acres, and according to tax records, the existing building was established in 1965. The site plan shows existing education building in gray, which is proposed for use by the charter school. The applicant has indicated that this location will serve as a temporary home for the school. Existing parking and access points will be used, and no new construction or structural changes are planned. The proposed school will occupy a 3-story building. The gray areas indicated on the floor plan indicate rooms that will not be used under the scope of the lease, and the interior spaces will be used as is, with no renovations or expansions. The proposed school meets 5 of the 6 conditional use requirements under section 86-187, with one exception, the street classification. The property is located on a local street rather than a collector or hire. This concern is mitigated because the school operates within an existing church campus with established, with established access, circulation, and parking. No new construction, structural changes, or parking expansions are planned, maintaining compatibility with the surrounding area. With that, staff recommends approval of the conditional use permit with a single condition listed on the screen. This condition ensures safe student arrival and dismissal while minimizing impacts on the neighborhood. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Ms. Fox?
I want to say Mayor
It's
Pro
been a
Tem.
minute,
Right,
yes.
I know. Councilwoman Messick, I have a question. I'm going to assume that the proper public signs are going, like school speeding, school zone, all of that is gonna be added, because that's not there right now because it's not a school area. But the proper road signs are gonna be added to indicate that it is a school zone, correct?
Yes, that can be
Okay.
worked into the traffic control plan.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Any other questions, council? I'm excited. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ms.
It-
Jewett, can we add that to consent agenda, but because
This one
it's-
has a public hearing for next meeting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I thought.
Yes. Item B, council to discuss Jonesboro Education Trust Pilot Program Initiative.
Make a motion to amend. You can let me know if this is proper or not, but I just had some amendments specific to the program, what I emailed to you. Is it better just go into discussion and come back next week with the amendments, or do I have to lay out all the amendments?
Well, you can have the discussions now.
Okay.
Once it's on the table, I think it's just for discussion as opposed to formal
Right. Just
Okay.
approval. So it's open for you all to discuss. And then the final, anything that will be final for your approval for next Monday, that's when the formal changes, so.
Okay.
However, the presiding officer, if you just want to let them start and discussing it in general, however you,
I withdraw
all
my
want to
I withdraw my motion.
okay. So I guess this is something that has been presented by Councilman A. Dixon to discuss and present.
Yes.
Councilmember Dixon, would you like, I recognize you to speak on this subject.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you all again, and good evening, Mayor, Councilwoman Messick, and the rest of the council. Everyone here in attendance, I really appreciate you all being here. Here we are again. You know, here we are again. We introduced the Jonesboro Education Trust Program in 2023, but we prioritized the Jonesboro Youth City Government. And I'm just super excited to reintroduce this program here tonight and begin building aspirations as early as kindergarten. As it states in the packet, you know, the Jonesboro Education Trust is a civic engagement-driven youth investment initiative designed to introduce financial literacy, saving habits, and community participation beginning at the kindergarten level. The program, it connects positive civic engagement activities such as volunteering, family, financial literacy participation, and community involvement to education saving incentives funded through public and private partnerships. And I just want to pause right there just for a quick second and say that this program will be funded through public and private partnerships, this pilot program. I know in 2023 we asked the city to commit, but I've learned through research, thanks to our interns that are here, you know, that we can do this another way. The proposed pilot program is we're looking to launch this program at the start of the school year, which is in August 2026. And the pilot cohort will serve 25 kindergarten students and will be supported through corporate and financial institutions, partners, like I said, rather than the general fund. The pilot establishes a scalable framework designed to grow annually, building a long-term pathway for Jonesboro youth to access post-secondary education, workforce training, and entrepreneurship support. And again, in short, you know, this program is really going to give our youth an entrepreneurial spirit and a college-bound identity early. I think that's just super important. Most programs around the country, they operate with the city's infrastructure. They utilize the city's infrastructure. But we have in the budget proposed for this program, for the pilot program, $40,000, which $5,000 will cover the administrative costs for this pilot program. So there won't be a strain to the city staff. But you all have all the information here. I'm really thankful that I've heard from some of my council members this week, Councilwoman Kearney, Councilwoman Fox, Councilman Dixon. I'm thankful that I was able to hear from you all, and I would love to answer any of your questions. Or hear your amendments. I really appreciate that.
Okay. So do we just revert back because the mayor's here, or do we still have to
We have to do a motion for me to assume.
I guess since we're in the middle of this particular discussion, we can finish this one out, and then the mayor can resume.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Messick?
May, I'm sorry.
Would you like to, you want to relinquish now? I suggested that maybe we finish this item out and the mayor can resume, or if you want to take a pause and turn the gavel over to the mayor, let's go ahead and do so.
Yeah, I'm back. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yes, I relinquished.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Messley. I appreciate that. Thank you all. Okay, what I'm picking up. Okay.
Mayor?
Yes, Councilwoman Kearney.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. So first of all, I want to say that I think this is a great idea, and I do think it is beneficial to our children and future adults. I also love that there's no fiscal impact for this program. I'm very, very happy about that indeed. Most of my questions are regarding liability and legality. Now, if you want to answer that, or if you have somebody in the audience that, you know, you need to look to for the answer, I completely understand. So who is legally responsible for these funds? For example, like who manages them? Is it a college savings plan, a custodial account, a pooled trust?
Gotcha. And these are all great questions, and I'm so thankful for them. We're currently working with our partners, which is Clayton County Public Schools and the foundation, along with our banking partners, which we're in deep conversation with Truist Bank and Bank of America. We've also spoken with Renaissance Bank. They just don't support the deposit only. They just don't have the deposit only savings account structure, but they're willing to support in other means, such as the financial literacy courses that the families and the children would need to partake in, and other things.
Okay, so fiduciary-wise, will it be held by the city or by that nonprofit?
The nonprofit.
Okay, excellent. I'm just saying this or asking these questions for the record as well. So,
Yes, ma'am.
if the funds are held by the nonprofit, are they licensed or will they be licensed?
Yes, they are licensed. In the interim, like I said, of course, long-term, we would love to get this under the Youth City Government Foundation that Mr. Ronnie Wells spoke of. In the interim, we're looking to pilot this with the Clayton County Public Schools and the Clayton County Public Schools Foundation.
Okay, and you said you've looked at this with which institutions? You said Truist and?
Yes, we've looked at this with Truist Bank, Bank of America, and Renaissance Bank.
Okay, excellent.
And those are the banks that are in the city.
Okay, perfect. And you will address any like compliance, you know, data-driven concerns as well? Like what entity will be managing this? I just want to make sure that nobody's data gets leaked or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the priority of the banks and, you know, in the school system as well, is to make sure that that information is, you know, I guess that's their responsibility as their institution to make sure that those data concerns are addressed and, you know, and the information is kept, you know, private.
Okay. And I know this is early on in this program, but I know you said in the documentation that it's going to be about 25 students that you pick. And I just want to make sure it's a fair process when picking those students. I know it's probably early, and if that's something you want to discuss later on, that's fine. But like, what exactly is that system? Like, is it a lottery? I just want to make sure it's equal.
Yeah, so that we've had a couple of different discussions, you know, with Clayton County Public Schools, which those conversations continue. And there's a couple of different ways, you know, we can go and, you know, choose or select the 25. We looked at first come, first served. We looked like a lottery pick, a lottery system, to try to garner as much interest as possible. And then, you know, we celebrate maybe at the Juneteenth concert stage and introducing the 25 people that are selected for the JET program. But like I said, there's a couple of different ways we can choose to select the 25 scholars. But I look forward to working closely with Clayton County Public Schools to identify which school that we'll pilot this program out of. And the three schools were out of Lee Street Elementary, Suter Elementary, and Arnold Elementary.
Okay, excellent. I see that you have something where it's required civic engagement, and I just really would like for you to see if you can make that optional or just recommend it. I just don't want people to think that there's any political pressure. I do love the financial literacy workshops and the community service and the school milestones. I just want to see if we can make that optional, recommended, not required.
Yeah, definitely. You know, don't want to, you know, this is what you have to do, but I guess we're trying to shift the energy or the mindset a bit. And yeah, we want to encourage this is a fully, everything that we do is we want to encourage the scholars to take on this mindset, take on the healthy, financial habits early. So definitely not trying to mandate anything, but these are options that are available to you
Right.
that will also help you, grow your account.
Right, but I think there was some stuff where I saw it was required for them to attend certain meetings, city hall meetings. So that's the part I was like, more so, no?
No,
Or-
yes, no. So I guess, and we're actually in the process of designing our incentive menu that outlines exactly which, incentives. Like I said, yeah, we want people to be engaged early on. Some people, like I said, my intern was here last month, and that was his first city council meeting. And what if we could change that scope to where a child is attending their first city council meeting in kindergarten, along with that family, that young mother who is just now attending that first city council meeting. So we definitely want to keep them civically engaged. We want to encourage civic engagement. And if it says, hey, they look in the email and they say, hey, there's a $20 waiting for you if you attend the city council meeting and sign up for public comment. Stay civically engaged.
Right.
So not trying to, but we want them to understand what a city council meeting is. We want them to understand what public comment is. And I guess it's just a way, like I said, this could be tailored, but these are just some of the thoughts and some of the ideas.
Right. And personally, I do like that. However, I just don't want to open us up to, like, if we do require that, if you don't do this, then this will happen type of framing.
No, it's not that. It's more like, if you do this, this is what you can gain. If you choose not to do this, there'll be other opportunities,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
On to that point, while we're on that same frame of mind, could we consider perhaps that some of the workshops and family engagement would serve as the civic engagement incentives?
It is.
So because I see two different prices.
Some on the budget.
On the budget. So can they, by attending financial literacy workshops, can they receive incentives there? I appreciate everybody coming to the council meeting, but sometimes I want what they're required to do to be meaningful.
No,
and
absolutely.
I'm not sure if it's age
No,
appropriate
absolutely.
for a kindergartner to come. So attending the financial literacy workshops, could that be set up as part of incentives?
No, that would be the bulk of the incentive. The price for the amount, $7,500, that's just.
Oh, that's just the cost to deliver it?
Right, correct.
Okay,
But
perfect. All right.
the
Thank you.
incentives does include those workshops.
Those work-
And it's,
okay.
for the families to come together.
All right, and then one other point, thank you, Councilwoman Kearney, just in that vein. We were participating in another funding opportunity, and they require parents to be voters. You had to show proof of voter registration. And I think to be civically engaged, to me, that's the ultimate goal, that you are, I'm not looking at your voter's record, but that they are registered voters. So I would like to see that incorporated as part of the application process.
I think that, I appreciate that. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I didn't think of it either, but part of the application package, you had to submit and this was for down payment housing assistance.
Yeah. So would you say like, if somebody comes back and they aren't registered to vote, but they want to be a part of this program, is that like hey, we seen that you're not registered to vote, let's go ahead and get registered to vote?
I
so
think
you
that
can
should definitely be a
participate?
criteria for the parent.
Okay.
Yes,
Alright.
I'm finished, thank you.
I agree with that, but I just want to put some things in there for people that would love to vote, but like maybe they're not able because,
Yeah,
felonies,
no,
stuff like
the
that.
inclusionary criteria as well as religion. So
Absolutely.
I didn't include that, so yes.
Absolutely, yeah, Jehovah's Witness, yeah, absolutely. So I got a couple more questions. So I am worried about what will happen if a sponsor, backs out or withdraws, and who will absorb those shortfalls. And I assume that the answer is, but I don't want to, assume, but I'm just putting out there that maybe you try to find a sponsor to replace, but I want to make sure that that is indeed the case, so, yeah.
Absolutely. So, we're super committed, to making sure that we can scale this program. And I'm grateful for the mayor mentioning this 2 years ago, the pilot option for this program, because it really does give us an opportunity to manage it.
Was that me?
Yeah, that was you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I couldn't remember.
No,
2
no.
years ago was a long time.
It really gives us an opportunity to manage it and scale it. So it's almost like we won't commit to what we can't do.
Okay.
Right.
And I think this is my last question, unless something, comes up, but do you need a staff person, City of Jonesboro staff, to help manage this? I know that the document itself says no admin and no staff costs, but I just don't want any, hidden costs coming in or sunk costs or something, so I just want to make sure.
Right. Like I said, the models that we've seen this from, they've always had, staff infrastructure that the program has been able to utilize. I understand. I know the conversations last 2 years ago that we just didn't want to stretch staff so much. So $5,000 of this budget that we have down there is for that administrative piece of it for staff. So of course I would love for staff to be involved with this program. I know Taylor does amazing things, and I know I just shout out Taylor real quick, but she's from Laker Nation, so I'm very proud of everything. But like I said, we would love staff to be involved, but not trying to stretch the city so thin. During this pilot program, we do have something set aside so that the administrative duties are seen through.
So that $5,000 is like a stipend for staff if they wanted to volunteer for you all? Is that what you're saying?
No, I wasn't necessarily saying a stipend for staff, but it absolutely could be if that made sense for city operations.
What was your intentions with the $5,000? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Gotcha. No, so this would be for the for the CPA firm. In the city of San Francisco.
Oh, someone separate.
Right. Well,
Oh,
like
no,
I said, in the city of San Francisco, the different cities, they'll have their financial departments, working in tandem with this, right? Of course, that would be great. But if we don't have the infrastructure, as a city to do that, then I would love to bring on a CPA to carry out those same responsibilities administratively.
Excellent. Okay. That's all my questions.
Thank you. And so to that point, we could discuss whether you want to utilize it as overtime pay or just something to supplement if there's any, because I'm sure there might be a staff member that will want to pick it up and, okay. Also, I did read through this, but residency requirement, the 25 that are selected, they have to live in the city limits of Jonesboro.
Yes, for this pilot program, like I said, it's for the city of Jonesboro, and that's why we're working with our Clinton County Public School partners to really identify those students who live inside the city of Jonesboro. Of course, everyone that goes to Lee Street may not necessarily
Be,
in the
perfect.
city, so.
Thank you. And then also, got the voting, got the residency. I think that was it. Council, any other questions from here? Did you answer questions? Councilwoman Fox.
Yes, Councilwoman Dixon, is there a city or
Councilman.
state? Councilman?
I know we all tired. It's Monday.
Sorry, y'all, it's been a long week and it just started.
It's Monday.
Is there a city or state where this pilot program is successful or it's doing well? Is there someone else doing this?
Yes, there is, and I'd like to just give a shout out to the city of San Francisco. Then Mayor Gavin Newsom, now governor for the state of California, started this program in 2013. They just graduated their first set of kindergartners maybe 2 years ago. And like I said, man, just imagine if all of our kids in 13 years, not only throwing their caps up in the air because they graduated, but also know that they have $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to go to school, start a business, take up a trade. They have an identity. Man, I'm just so excited for us to be able to get on this ball, man. Thank y'all.
To that, go ahead, Councilwoman. You had another question?
I wanted to ask, was there anyone here locally doing this or would we be the first city to implement this?
So great question, and I'm like I said, thankful to initiate or to introduce this program in 2023. Last year, or in 2024, Dr. Smith called me, former superintendent. He called me and said, "Man, you know that JET program that you introduced last year? The city of Atlanta just made history in the state of Georgia, and they started that program." And of course, I wish that could have been us, but I'm so thankful for the proof points that they're able to provide us as we roll out this program. And of course, they're just in their first year as well. So, and like I said, there's 120 programs nationwide. The city of San Francisco was the first program, and they're just getting their first data points because they just graduated their first kindergartners. So it is a rollout. It is a slow rollout, but it is a commitment that I feel like we can make as a city, and really change the trajectory of our kids.
Mayor.
Yes.
I think to that point, thank you, Councilman Dixon, I got it right this time, for providing that data If we can definitely get more data from the city of Atlanta, because the fact that they rolled it out lets me know that they've probably worked out some kinks and we don't have to reinvent the wheel. So I think that's an amazing idea. I wish we could have been the first, but we can at least be the second to implement this if it so meets council approval.
I mean, I believe in Atlanta, they funded it themselves, didn't they, or in part, some of it?
In part, and I
Okay,
know
so I
that they
thought-
have those donors coming on in,
Donors, yeah.
right? Once they started it, it was just like almost a domino effect.
Councilman Dixon, so if we're starting with 25 and you're making it scalable, you would add 25 each year. But for the 25, if they remain with us, that's $750,000 investment over that period of time. And so do we think that's sustainable?
That's my commitment, to make
So
sure
that's
that,
just one class. Are you adding
Correct.
additional classes on?
like I said, this is the pilot program. You know,
Okay.
of course, long-term, long scale, we want to have the 3,000 kindergartners that are in Clayton County being able to partake in this program.
We
And
want all 3,000?
I'm-
Okay. I thought maybe their cities, I thought maybe the cities would replicate.
It would,
Okay.
it would. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I just feel like their city should be,
No,
we should,
it would.
it should be fed. Forest Park Education Trust.
Absolutely.
Lit,
Right,
Lovejoy
right.
Education Trust.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I'm just-
Met, Morrow Education Trust,
No,
so.
absolutely. And I'm just, let's
Wanna make
300
sure.
kindergartners in Jonesboro, but
Yeah,
we.
'cause I think
we-
the problem that we're gonna run into is that, again, I want at some point for us to maybe perhaps be able to invest in it, and then it's gonna have to come back to, we're gonna invest in our own.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, that was my question, because we're looking at if we just follow 25 kindergartners through high school, that's $750,000 over
Fair.
a year, yes.
Sorry, so, when you say us invest, like, I don't know if it has to be a formal process, but like, if we get to the point where we wanna like donate a certain amount, I guess, out of the budget or something like that, I think it doesn't have to be, we can do that, right? We can.
I mean, yeah, we can always look at it into the budget, but I
Right,
know, like,
in the
yeah,
future.
in the future, correct. After the pilot, I think, seeing that. At this time, I know, Councilwoman Messick, but I want the attorney to just chime in a little bit on this. I know she had a chance to review it. I'm sorry, did I put you on the spot?
No, well, that's okay. I was having some thoughts. Wonderful, wonderful program. You know, the lawyers, we're always the bearers of bad news. Not bad news,
Come on
but
now.
limitations. So it's a wonderful program as proposed. And I don't know what the laws are different from state to state as from city to city. But under Georgia law, municipalities have limited powers. We can only do things that the Georgia Constitution, the Georgia statutes, and our charter say we can do. Having said that, the city can lawfully support this engagement, education, workforce development, the objectives of this program, all in the name of, engaging in public health, safety, welfare, promoting this for the betterment of our kids and the participants who will reside in Jonesboro. The only rub here is that there needs to be a clear separation between the entity that's going to the private entity or the nonprofit entity, the Clayton County Foundation, and the city. I would recommend that we have an MOU or an agreement so
Yes.
that we can clearly set forth who's responsible for what, answering some of Councilwoman Cherney's questions, and then formalizing it in a way that will keep the city within its lawful bounds and allow the nonprofit, which is a 501c3 entity, to allow them to do things. So the city, as a municipality, can't make private loans or act as a private institution for monies, even if it's coming from a nonprofit source. That doesn't mean, however, that we can't partner with the nonprofit entity that can accumulate those monies, be responsible for the disbursements pursuant to the written policy and agreement that we're gonna have with them. So it would be, the city can't receive the funds or operate or hold those education savings accounts or approve, deny those disbursements. However, the city can engage with the nonprofit and set up the conditions by which they will do that, and we can be an active partner in helping that come to fruition. So I would love to, if it's the will of this body, Councilman Dixon and I can work directly with the foundation and go to them, go to their meetings, and help come up with a good MOU partnership that's aligned with this policy that you propose, and then we can get it done. So the will is there, and we'll just make the means to make it legal. But the city can't and should not engage in the liability of dispersing or holding those funds. We'll be acting as though we were a private financial institution of those funds, and we will have those liabilities. The nonprofits are set up better for that. They have accountants over there at the foundation. They understand the tax liabilities and all of that, and they have the staff and the expertise to handle those kind of funds, those kind of charitable funds.
Thank you. Councilwoman Messick, thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. So thank you, Attorney Wiley. You actually answered several of the questions that I had. One was, I was concerned, and we did talk about this several years back, is the liability and the safety of personal information of minors. So if Clayton County Foundation is running that through the school system, then they're going to have that information, and we will not be the protectors of those types of things, of social security numbers, of things of that nature. That will fall to them. Is that correct, Mr. Dixon?
Yes.
Okay. And on this budget that you have, is this a general idea? Because I see you've got $40,000 to get it started. And do you have donors that are supplying all of this?
Yes, so that's like I said, that is the goal, is to make sure that we, have our donors. We already have a lot of people that are committed, to supporting this program. I just wanted to get it formalized with the city of Jonesboro so that we can officially go out and seek those donors and sponsorships.
Okay. And too, along with what Ms. Wiley said, I love the idea of doing workshops and education for families. We have a lot of, not just this program, but some that some other people talked about. Path to College 529 in Georgia is an excellent program to begin saving for. And the new Trump accounts. Those are excellent programs with no minimum deposits. And you can do them now. And if you had a child between 25 up till now, up through 28, they're putting $1,000 in those accounts to get them started right off the bat. So, and all you have to do is fill out a form, and you can do it with your taxes, or you can mail it in. Path to College 529 is an excellent program to go through here. So I think if we get the JET program going, and we include education about other opportunities that families can utilize for their children, we're really setting our youth up for success. I too had a concern about the civic engagement with kindergarten students. We can do some really good educational opportunities, I think, with kindergarten students that wouldn't necessarily look like civic engagement. Maybe something more with their families and events, I think would be something that would be better in line.
I totally agree with you.
Councilman.
Yes, Mayor.
Yes, go ahead.
Yep, I totally agree with you, and thank you for raising those points. And I guess maybe just when it comes back to the incentives, they won't be kindergartners forever. We'll be following them throughout, elementary, middle school, and high school, and those are just some of the ideas that I just thought about, when it comes to incentives. But thank you so much.
So Council, Attorney Wiley, you mentioned an MOU. So the approval that we could entertain tonight without a MOU would be what? Do you want time to work with him and the council? I feel like the council would be more appropriate of approving, because I'm not sure what we can approve the idea, but ultimately it's going to require a memorandum of understanding with the Clayton County Foundation. And I think we're all in agreement that we can move forward with that. So would you need some time? I don't know when your next meeting is set up, and I know how Clayton County is. Once we create an MOU, they're going to want to go through their legal team as well. And I think, council, we should be prepared once we should vote and entertain this once we have the MOU that clearly defines everything.
What I would suggest, Councilman, if it's the will of this body that Councilman Dixon and I can approach the foundation with the statement and the authority to say, the City Council of Jonesboro is interested in doing this. We want to partner with you all. If y'all give us the blessing, then we can go do that. I don't want to go and make those representations. If it sounds like you all are on board with us doing that, and go and working with their foundation. The foundation is different from the school district, even though they have they have their own board members. They aren't school board members, so it's a separate 501c3
Yes, ma'am.
nonprofit. And yes, they do have their own council. They have their separate legal counsel, different from the school district's council. And I've done some things with them in a different capacity, so I kind of know and they have an executive director. Councilman Dixon may already know all these folks more than I do, but I do think we should be able to have the blessing of this body to go forward and start opening up that formal dialogue, taking this as the template and working out something with them. I don't know if we can get that done by next Monday, but certainly this month, we can make it a priority, Councilman Dixon.
Councilman Dixon, do you know when
Make it
their
a
next
happen.
board meeting is? Because I would love to just hear from a board member because this is going to be kind of, am I correct in saying a partnership?
Yes.
So do you think we can get the board member that can come and just assure their commitment, because it's asking for a lot of commitment from them?
Yeah, I
And
don't-
so maybe having them come next week.
Or maybe we go to them and start, I don't know how far your discussions are. I mean, you can
Yeah.
obviously talk about it.
Yeah, they would have been here tonight. Some of the members would have been here tonight, but the weather's been going back and forth, so, they weren't able to make it tonight. But like I said, I'm looking forward to doing whatever we need to do to make sure that this program gets formalized. Definitely don't want to delay the program, any longer, but definitely want to, move forward and make sure it's structured the right way.
Yeah, and I don't think the delay is on us. When we're entering a partnership, we need to have some input and just, I mean, this looks great, and I think you've taken into consideration the things that we've all put in. But I also feel like we need to hear from who we're partnering with.
Absolutely.
Yes, and then, so I mean, I don't think we need a vote. You all can just move forward doing what you do, bring us back a MOU and the council, and then we could vote for approval then. I think it's a consent to move forward.
Mayor,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I have a question. So does this, I know if we're voting like, yes, we want to move forward with this and we're going to the school board, is it required, I guess, that they have to vote that they want to
So
do
they
this
have a
with
different
us as
body, they
well?
have a board, so we're going to the foundation's board. And that's what I'm saying, we're engaged, a lot of this speaks to what the board is going to do. So we need a commitment, for this to work, it requires a heavy lift, in my opinion, from the foundation, am I correct?
Yeah, I mean,
Correct.
and I guess in our eyes, it may be heavy, but, that's what they.
Well, I mean,
already
heavy
do.
in a technical, legal sense, like, because of everything that we cannot do as a city, then the foundation has to do on our behalf, and that needs to be structured out.
Okay, so-
And, yes.
Mayor?
Mhm.
I guess so. My question is then, if let's say we vote yes, and then we go to them and they vote yes, then great. We don't have to revisit this anymore, correct? Or if, let's say we vote yes and then they vote no, does it just die there, or?
No, and that's what I'm trying to prevent it from dying. Like, we don't have to vote yes. We're in consensus to move forward and do the necessary information. We will vote on the memorandum of understanding that comes back to us that says the city will do, basically it takes this and puts it in a memorandum of understanding between two parties. And we will vote on that. And now how they choose to vote on it, I don't know what their process is. They may have to wait until because it's engaging a lot of them. They may do just like us, it's a board. So they may have to look at this, and I'm not sure again how far Councilman Dixon has gotten, but they may have to look at it and say, hey, we need to bring this before our board, and our next board meeting is not until. I think the best thing that we can do tonight is say, we're all good with this. Move forward and make it happen. And I think it's a consensus of that. But I don't feel comfortable voting on this structure as it is because it's a large component of a second party that we don't have a legal document to engage with. Am I saying that kind of correctly?
Yes, I think, yes, you are, Madam Mayor. My suggestion is to Councilwoman Kearney is that what's before you is a wonderful proposal. Now we have to take it to the partner who's going to, and see if they want anything in this, tweak it, because they're gonna have to adopt and we're gonna be engaged. This talks about a partnership. And so we can't impose a one-sided document, which is why I would say not formally vote on this, but take this as the template to them to have the discussions so that a formal arrangement we can negotiate a final document to bring to you all that represents both parties, represent what they say they will do in connection with the program, and you all adopt and review it. I just feel like it's a matter of timing, not whether or not we can do it. And I just want to get their input to make sure we're not doing something one-sided that they may reject, and then we come back and we have to start from scratch. That's all I'm suggesting.
And also, I believe this document it doesn't, one place, it names Clayton County Public Schools, but it doesn't name Clayton County Foundation per se. And I'm not sure if I overlooked it. I think it was on page, it keeps, no, Clayton County Public Schools. Yeah, I did not see the entity of the foundation named in this entity as the foundation, except on page 10. It says we'll pursue local business partnership, community-based fundraising, and partnerships with CCPS Foundation. But it does not state, from what you said, that this foundation will be providing for us. So I would want a document for us to vote on that clearly spells out that, unless I missed it. We refer to Clayton County Public Schools as the things, but when it says how accounts are managed and protected, during this pilot phase, funds will be managed through a centralized program managed structure that blah, 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 blah. I feel like that needs to spell out and say those things will be the centralized program managed structure that ensures resources are being exclusive for the intended purpose. That's the foundation, am I correct?
Say that one more time.
On page 28, or it's up under 6,
Okay.
how JED accounts are managed. So it says, during the pilot phase, funds will be managed through a centralized program managed structure that ensures resources are used exclusively for their intended purposes. I'm assuming, based on our conversation, that the Clayton County Foundation will be the manager of this particular task.
Correct, yes.
Correct, and
Which
so
is
that's
the
why I feel like this,
nonprofit, right.
before we approve it, this document needs to call out, because it doesn't say, maybe that's, what I don't want to get in is a great program, and then later on, we're trying to say, well, no, y'all were supposed to do that, no, we're supposed to do that. So just
Absolutely.
going through, so I think, I know Attorney Wiley can work with you to clarify more roles in this proposal, so that we know. But I want to be really clear, like, I'm totally in support, I believe, I hear a consensus, but just wanting to go about it, lessons learned the right way.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you'll work with Attorney Wiley, we'll get with the, if you could just share the board representation, their board attorney, and they'll do their attorney things. I would just imagine that their board would have to wait until I'm just imagining, to approve a MOU.
Gotcha.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Councilman Dixon. I appreciate your patience on this.
Thank you.
Do we want to return back to forensic audit at this time? Y'all didn't do that, did you? Oh, y'all put it at the end? Okay, so we can just continue to go through? Okay, perfect. Madam Clerk, next item.
Next item, I think it's letter, let's see, C?
C.
C. Council to discuss a proposed intergovernmental agreement between the City of Jonesboro and the Downtown Development Authority, including review by legal counsel.
Yes. Wait a minute, whose item was that first? Was that,
That was mine.
so let's you bring it forth. Yes, Councilman Fox. Councilman Fox.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is before you. This is basically just a template. This is not something that needs to be, I'm not asking for approval on it right now. I'm asking for legal, of course, to take a look at it. I did bring it to Attorney Wiley before I brought it to the council, but she hadn't had time to review it. I also, depending on the guidance, I'm leaning very heavily on the guidance of legal counsel. If we need to bring it to our executive director as well, I would love his input. I most importantly would love you all's input. So this is simply a template, a foundation so that we can guide on. That's why a lot of the information is left blank as far as term, so we can decide on that together. So basically, the IGA is between the Downtown Development Authority and the City of Jonesboro to establish a formal agreement, IGA agreement, that clarifies and defines roles, responsibility, and financial obligations, and reporting requirements and operational expectation between both entities. This agreement will promote transparency, accountability, and coordinated strategic planning while ensuring alignment in city economic development goals and compliance with applicable state and local regulations. So again, I'm hoping that you all had time to take a look at it. Councilwoman Kearney, I acknowledge your questions, and I know that you had some really good questions that I don't mind discussing and answering. Again, this is not something the items that are left blank, to answer your question, yes, I did bring it before legal. I'm leaning very heavily on legal to guide us through that process, and I would love to have the downtown development input as well, but I wanted to bring it before council so that we can kind of like put a stronger foundation on this and then bring it to the different entities that it involves.
Thank you, Councilwoman Fox. So some of this was discussed in the previous DDA meeting. Executive Director, if you want, were you getting ready to come up? Oh, but then, no, you don't have to then, I thought you had raised up. And so I think we're all in agreement that we need an intergovernmental agreement, but it's almost as though we have to do an inventory. So that's what we're in the process of doing. I need to speak with all department heads, because when we do an IGA, we want it to be exclusive, all the way down to who cuts the grass, who does maintenance, so that we know if we're going to agree to cut the grass, fine. If we're going to agree to the maintenance, and I think the DDA was coming up with some structures that they wanted themselves. So Attorney Wiley attended the last DDA meeting, and I think she will probably attend the next one. And then for lack of a better word, we just need to make a list and to kind of sort it out and tease it out. What's convoluting this some is that we are still waiting on the title report to come back, because I think there may be some property ownership that's driving it. And when we do an IGA, we need to clarify the properties that they pertain to as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I do have a question, Mayor.
yes.
So are we, right now, is the city responsible for any expenses that are charting the waters with DDA? Because from my understanding, are we, for example, the Broad Street or Nouveau, are we paying any utilities as the city of Jonesboro?
That's what we're,
paying any utilities there?
We're trying to work out, because we get a one utility bill, so we have to go through now and figure out the water. I don't want to put Miss Maria on the spot. Don't you see the utility bill? So they're paying their own power? But I'm talking about the other properties.
The only utility bill we get for anything outside of the Nouveau and Green is the 166 South Main, and all I see is water.
Yeah, and so there are a number, I'm sorry, Maria, she didn't come in. So there are a number of properties that the DDA owns that we have to go through and see who's paying the water. We can say that right now, we're cutting all the grass, aren't we, Marcus? And we're utilizing Marcus too for like minor repairs, like if something comes up and Marcus needs to go look at it and things like that. So we kind of just got to tease all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the DDA, I think Mr. Cole can help us determine of all the list of DDA properties where all those bills are, and looking at the financial reports to see if y'all been paying it. I know y'all been paying water bill here or there, but so the IGA has to clean up everything, and I know the city has been paying for a number of utility bills like forever.
Okay. So when you say utility bills, for who? For what property specifically? Can you give me an example?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's what we got to
Okay.
go by and clarify.
Okay.
I do know, is water on at all the properties? So that's something, so we need to go look at every property, turn on the light switch, see if the light's on, then figure out where the bills are and all of that. So we got to do some sorting through. Yes, Attorney Wiley.
Thank you, and yes, Councilwoman Fox and I did discuss this, so thank you. And if you may recall that I also recommended that we bring this to the dais the way you're doing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this,
Let's
get
talk about
direction from council. And I just want to for the public's sake and for people who may, intergovernmental agreement, we call them IGAs. And that's just a formal document or contract. It was in the MOA or MOU that we discussed with the preceding matter, all means the same thing. What it means is one governmental entity contracts with another quasi-governmental entity. What's a quasi-governmental entity? It's a public authority, such as development authorities. There are a number of different types of development authorities under Georgia law. The city has the Downtown Development Authority, and we also have an urban redevelopment agency. And the purpose of the IGA for the public is just it's something that you can define the roles between the two entities. You set clear responsibilities for each party, how you're going to collaborate, resource sharing. It outlines joint activities, shared responsibilities, how the resources are going to be allocated, personnel, equipment, facilities, clear framework for budget responsibilities, cost sharing, and it establishes a process for resolving disputes if a dispute comes up. So there's a mechanism for us to do that. A number of jurisdictions, there are 500 cities, over 500 cities, there are, how many counties? 159, how many counties are there? 539 cities, and there are a lot of counties. I can't remember the number of counties. But a lot of them operate with a handshake agreement and don't have formal IGAs with their development authorities. So they're like your cousins. Some do. And as we grow, and as some entities, and this is why I told the DDA, if you want to have growth and independence and you want to have those clear separation, there's nothing wrong with that, doing an IGA to make those responsibilities and those roles clearly defined in the contract. But before we do that, we do have to do an inventory of the property that we own, how the money, is the city going to fund or not? How all the resources, you're gonna share employees, you're gonna share spaces, are you gonna charge them? Those are all decisions that this body has to make a decision on in that IGA. One of the biggest things, to your point, Councilwoman Fox, is that we have, with respect to the Broad Street property, there was a bond, there was some funding allocation that was done in a very formalistic, complicated manner that we're now unwinding. We're at the last year of this with respect to that property, and I think in August, all of that, it's all unwinding now. So we have to unwind all of that complicated financial framework that was created in order to do the bonds and get the finances to have this restaurant and everything around it. And so it's just gonna take a little time, but not too much time. So we've ordered the title work, that we're gonna unwind the agreement, unwind the financial component of it, and then we're gonna see what property the city owns. I think the mayor, we discovered, and with your economic development director, that some of the property where the concerts
The amphitheater is
actually
city.
owned by the city. Does the city but I think all the proceeds have been going to the DDA. Does the city want to continue that, or does the city want to get all those proceeds? They want to split them. I don't know. That's all the things that the IGA will cover.
Right.
So this is a good first step to put on
Yeah.
the table, so thank you.
Yeah, that was thank you, Attorney Wiley, and that was the consensus is to just.
So, excuse me, I made like a brief list, and so I don't know if it's appropriate for us now to just like check down. So we have utilities, landscaping, financial reporting, IT services, location, personnel, printing and clerical, as well as proceeds from the rental. So I don't know if we want to take the time now and go through each one and say, we want to pay for it, or we want them to pay for it, because for her to create one, we have to kind of, and is it safe to say that we drive this as the city and give it to the DDA and they come, or do we do this together?
Usually the city drives it
Okay.
and then works with the DDA, because the city usually has more resources and has the resources. The DDA is a component unit of the government. I think they are included in our account, in our audits. So their financing and how they handle their financial is included under the cities, and so we want to make sure that there's understanding about that. So there needs to be collaboration. I can draft I've done dozens of them, so we can I can do a template that covers a lot of the information that we can just scratch out or add from there. But some of the basic things I would need to know is the property ownership, who owns what, and then the rest will be easier, but it's mainly the property ownership that will be the
And
biggest
I think Mr. Cole
thing.
can provide that. But meanwhile, council, what we do need to decide is that list of items that we gave, whether we want to incur those expenses, if you want me to get some information, or, so I can go through the whole list, because I know we want to get this done sooner than later. Yes.
So I think, because for me personally, I can't speak for the rest of the governing body. We don't know what we're covering, what we're not. So I think that having an understanding, a letter of record, just kind of giving us an overview of what we are already covering and where the lines blur, will then help us to make some decisions on how we need to divide and conquer.
Okay, perfect. So we were on the right track in Blue and Kurt. So basically, beyond that list, so we'll go in and take some time. Mr. Cole will work with Mr. Hurd to see, and Maria too, to kind of dissect. So we got to go to all the properties, see if they got power and water. If they do, then we'll come back and figure out where those bills are. We need to decide. But some things, like, I know we cut the grass. Do we want that to be something we continue to do? Like, we cut the grass for all the DDA properties.
It's, I mean, there again, for me, Mayor, the IGA is role and responsibility, because right now it's blurred. And if we can just, identify.
We are
It's
clear
about-
on that. Part of that is under, I'm telling you, the city cut, Mr. Hurd, did we cut the grass for all the DDA properties? Except for the landscaping that occurs at Nubo sometime, okay. So what I'm saying, I hear you, but part of what IGA says, moving forward, the city will cut the grass, or the city will cut the grass for $5, or the city won't cut the grass. That is something that collectively we have to decide on. The utilities, I can go discover that for you and say, hey, on average, we've been paying this, and I think that's helpful. But there's some things that I can tell you we have been doing. For example, we provide IT service support. Do we want to continue to provide IT service support for the DDA? I mean, and what we've done, we've given them emails if there's computer issues or something like that. So it's just, is their IT service up under our contract? So does everybody kind of get that? So that's why I said some of the things, I think it would be helpful if we decide tonight, things that don't have like a monetary value, such as cutting the grass. Is it a consensus of the DDA to continue for the city to cut the grass? That's what needs to be in there. Am I correct, Attorney Wiley?
So I don't think, I would recommend that y'all not make those type of decisions tonight.
Agreed.
Why?
That makes me a little hard, because we don't know what we don't know, and we could be making decisions in the dark.
But we know we
Mayor.
cut the grass.
So,
I mean, I'm trying to make some leeway tonight. So we know we cut the grass.
here's generally, there are 4 different types, and I'm looking, this is not,
You can
that
stop
I'm written
cutting grass.
off my head, so I'm not gonna, I did a presentation, on this very issue. So there are really 4 models, and Blue will probably nod his head behind me. So you got 4 models of the type of authorities that you have. You have the ones that are highly dependent on the city. Okay, they're so closely integrated, and the city has a lot of oversight. We may have that. You have ones that are independent, totally autonomous with their own separate decision-making rules, their finances or whatever. We're not there, because I'm hearing from the mayor that says a lot of interrelations. Then you have some that's sort of a different varying type of control, what I call where different levels. They have certain levels, and above that, the city takes over. Or you have a hybrid model where you're kind of independent, but you're not really on some other areas. So we have to decide what model works for this city and this DDA, and what's comfortable and consistent with, so that, and that's a legislative decision. And that's the reason I would not want to make decisions tonight, because I don't know what model. It sounds like we have a very interdependent DDA right now with the city. Would you say yes, Madam Councilwoman Fox?
May I
And
be
if
allowed
we
to
do,
speak?
if we're pulling that and going way to wholly independent, that's a huge leap. And maybe people don't know what they don't know, or maybe they want to take that risk. I just don't know that
Well,
yet.
that's fine. It's been a sense of urgency by certain council members to get this IGA done. So I was just trying to make a few little steps. Otherwise, it's going to be put on the agenda for next month. And so it'll be, I don't want any emails 2 weeks from now saying, did we get it done? Did we get it done? So that's why I was trying to get some parts done.
May I respond, Mayor?
Was anybody up here want to say something? Councilwoman
Yes,
Kearney.
please, thank you. So first of all, let me just say, I think that this is a good practice to have and a great risk management tool. Being that I was in the Navy, I'm all about risk assessment and risk management. I'm glad that the city and the DDA are strengthening its coordination together, which I think this is what this IGA should be about, but y'all can let me know if that isn't the case, if I'm on the wrong path there. So I would like to know a couple questions, if that's okay. Has this been vetted, and has the recommendation from the experts in this arena, specifically our economic development director, attorney, or the DDA? I'm just wondering.
You speaking to me? I'm sorry.
We have had discussions. I know I've discussed this with Councilwoman Fox, her ideas. I've talked to Blue and the mayor and the DDA, I think, when I went to the meeting. So it's been discussed, but I think in a very global type, this is what we want, and not in a granular, when we put the, where the rubber meets the road. Do you want to handle your own budget supervision and complete, or do you want operational support? How much? Or you want complete operational support? We haven't gotten down to that granular level, and that's what we need to do. But I think we need to understand where we are before we decide, or where each entity can decide how far. Do you cut all ties off now and just you're independent or not? Those are things that I don't have sufficient information to make a recommendation on to you all legally, but you can do it. I mean, you can do it, but whether or not you should is a different thing. So it's a matter of timing, Councilwoman Kearney. And I'm not sure we're there. We may be 30 days or 60 days away, but I'm not sure. I'm going to defer to Blue on some of this.
60.
60.
Okay, well, look, as long as we're not on the time span, that'd be April, May.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So by May, we'll come back before the council with a
Wait,
list of tweezed out responsibility or whatever.
Okay, I
That's
still
it.
have some more questions, but,
Yeah, go ahead.
okay.
Go ahead.
Did you have some, and
No,
to
I'll
answer
let
to
you
my
finish.
question?
No, you
Oh,
go
okay. So I wanted to know if we could do some revisions specifically to this document. So will you still be, or will Councilwoman Fox still be the person like heading up with all the edits to this document? Or will it be the attorney? Will it be Economic Development Director?
So I appreciate, council, I appreciate y'all putting together documents, legal documents, but I would very much prefer to let me do it, and I understand y'all are doing it, I appreciate that. But it will be a different document, it can conclude some of this information, but it won't, the lawyer, IGAs are written by attorneys based upon the directives we get from you all, just to make sure everything's legal, so I appreciate that.
Okay.
So working with you all, and this, as I understand, this is an entire council matter until y'all just make the decision. So if anyone has thoughts or concerns, you all can share them, and we bring it back to this body, and you all make the final decision on how you want to go based upon the recommendation of your able-bodied, your very capable economic development director, and working with two of us working together.
Okay. So some stuff I definitely want added, and I can email this to you, and I can CC you as well, Councilman Fox, or our Economic Development Director as well. So I would like us to add more information, making it more of a strategic partnership document, specifically more joint strategic planning mechanisms, since we do a lot of events with the DDA, or some events, what have you. I would like more performance benchmarks as well, and I can be specific about that, but just for data analysis purposes, like year to year, I don't want anything, draining, us, but I would like to see those things. Also, more economic development coordination requirements, just for the procedural compliance part of this, as well as some measurable goals, and it doesn't have to be anything specific, just because I know priorities shift at times, but just more of a layout. I know you already doing that with your economic plan, but if they're going to work together on this, it just makes sense to me. And I know the more of a required reporting schedule, so it's not just when asked or when summoned. I think it should be something more standard, like quarterly or annually, just more of a defined structure. 4 more, guys. Also, can you reframe the purpose section to slightly emphasize partnership rather than limitation? And again, I don't know if that's something we're trying to go towards, but that's just what I would like to see as a councilwoman. Also, I would like for us to add a term length and termination notice period for this IGA, since we can't adopt it without that information from what I've read. Also, can we please add an insurance and an indemnification clause and a defined reporting schedule? So I feel that saying that upon reasonable request, it's more, the document right now reads as more reactive to me instead of being proactive. So if we can make it more subjective, I feel like it's possibly subjective or political. I want this document to be as objective as possible. So if it's gonna be a quarterly financial report that comes out of the DDA, I like that. An annual budget submission, if that's what we would prefer, or annual strategic plan alignment, so that as those priorities shift, we can, shift that plan as well, if that's okay. And I'll email this all to you.
Thank you. You're sort of pulling it, these are things that I normally have in the IGAs I draft. So you're way ahead. Go ahead and send that to me. You'll see that all of that's in there, everything, the standard and those type of things. So yes, budget, they have to submit a budget every year to the city to justify the allocation of money that they want. All of that will be in there. Indemnification, all the things you mentioned. So yes.
Councilwoman Fox.
Yes, thank you. So thank you so much, Councilmember Kearney, and everyone who contributed. And that was the whole point. I wanted to start facilitating conversations about this. So that's why I intentionally placed it on the agenda. I knew that I wasn't the expert, and I did say in the beginning that I was leaning very heavily on Attorney Wiley. This is kind of like to nudge her to say, hey, can we go ahead and start working on this? And I fully understand that it's going to take about 60 to 90 days, and I want to make sure that we take our time to get it right, but it's about starting the conversation, and I was very successful in doing that tonight. So thank you all
really?
for your help on that.
Okie dokie. Next on the agenda.
Item D, council to consider a proposal regarding the establishment of the City of Jonesboro Newsletter Committee.
May I make a motion? No?
Councilwoman Fox put this on the agenda.
Okay.
Thank you. Really excited about this one. This is something that the community has been asking for, to get our newsletter back. I would love, I know one of the things that the mayor has said is this is very taxing to the
The
to
mayor
the
did not
staff.
say that. Try not to use the mayor's words. Go ahead.
Okay.
Carry on.
Well, the purpose of this proposal is to formally establish the City of Jonesboro Newsletter Committee to start, to support transparent, consistent, and inclusive communication between city and its residents, businesses, and stakeholders. The committee will assist with planning, coordination, and review of the city newsletter to ensure content is accurate, accessible, representative, and fiscally responsible. Establishing this committee will help us reduce the workload on city staff, increase community engagement, and ensure that the newsletter funds are used efficiently and intentionally. So if you all have had a chance to review the background, basically it's going to host number one council member, of course, is involved. I don't have to be that particular council member. It's a matter of just kind of starting that committee. So if there's another council member that is interested, that would love to head this up, I wouldn't mind giving that over. It shall consist of 5 members, structured to balance representation and efficiency. The membership requirement, of course, one definitely council member mandatory. The additional membership can be 1 representative from the Downtown Development Authority, 1 city staff member, recommended but not required. City residents, of course, local business owners and community stakeholders, and I've already talked to Councilman Dixon, love for the JYCG to, of course, own a piece of this as well, so that they're represented. And beautification, basically open it up to all committees, anybody who want to join, if each member from a committee want to join, because at the end of the day, the beautification, for example, or the historical committee are residents of the City of Jonesboro, so if they would like to join. That way, this committee is not all on one person. It is being, it serves different parts of our community. Everyone can have a corner. That way we're representing everyone, getting Yard of the Month back, just increasing community morale and community engagement, something that they are proud of and they are able to create. I think the imperfection of a newsletter is the perfection when you're talking about a small city. No one wants anything perfect. I think one of the reasons why I moved here, I didn't even know anything about the city or the staff. That newsletter is what connected me to the city. I look forward to that newsletter every month, and I can't tell you every day I get phone calls, or even when while I was campaigning, hey, are you going to bring the newsletter back? So that is something that is very near to my heart. I want to deliver this for the community, and I believe that the community want this as well, and I'm hoping that you all are in support of this. Thank you so much.
Madam Mayor, just one
Go
note.
ahead. No, go ahead, Attorney
I just
Wiley.
wanted to, when this body formally creates a committee, whether it's 1 member, 2 members, whomever it consists of, when the governing authority creates a committee, then that created committee has to comply with the Open Meetings Act, and all the meetings have to be published, open to the public. It doesn't have to be on television, it doesn't have to be in this, but let's say you want to be in one of your conference rooms. I just want everyone to know that there will be requirements on how you meet. Public notice has to go out in the same way that the meetings go out for city council meetings. The doors have to be open. Any member of the public can come. And that's something that was done back in 2014, y'all, when it was Sam Olens, I think when he was Attorney General. He was Cobb County Commission Chair, I'm probably sharing too much. And once, I guess his his stint as Cobb County Chairman, one of the first things he did when he became Attorney General, he revamped the Open Meetings Act to cut off a lot of loopholes. And one of the loopholes I think he cut off was somehow committees were being established by governments, and then we didn't know what the committees were doing. So that's one of the laws that things he changed. So it can be sort of cumbersome, but I just want y'all to know that.
Thank you.
Okay.
I see your name. So, I'm gonna defer.
Mayor?
I think my question is something directing staff to do something. We had put something in place last year. I think, Councilman Dixon, did you attend that meeting? No, the meeting with the company that we spoke to about creating our newsletter for us. Yes. Yeah, and so I would like for us to revisit that. We could have a quarterly newsletter. We could technically, did they say monthly? I think it was quarterly. Yeah, and I think the question was, I want to be clear about what the mayor did say. The mayor wanted a quality newsletter representative of 2026, and that we had not had. And so we spent about $1,000 in design fees for the first one that we had. Councilman Dixon helped us with the content. We got it, then took it in and had it resmithed. And also these things need to come out of a direct mail. So I think there's opportunity to do it, but also to do it well and do it with quality, because ultimately it comes back to administrative responsibility of doing it. Whether we need to achieve that in and out of the committee, I'm not sure, but we kind of had a committee, I thought. And I don't know what happened.
Mayor?
Councilwoman Kearney?
I would like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to postpone this item indefinitely.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to postpone this item indefinitely. Is there a second? That was quick. Motion dies for failure. Is there another second? Motion dies for failure for a second. I don't know, it's I'm torn between, this is one of those administrative things that we just approved the budget last month. And with the now approved budget, then I thought the existing committee was going to move forward with the structure that we had put in place. And I think everybody had agreed with the quality of that newsletter, getting it quarterly. We had talked to staff about that. The burden wouldn't be on staff for folding, labeling. Yeah, we were doing it real primitively. Staff laughing, but we were printing it here, and I just feel like we can. So the product that was presented, Councilman Dixon, can you speak to that product? I wasn't in the meeting because I wasn't on the committee.
Yeah, I'll speak to the product, and it was a solid product that he was able to present to us. It spoke to the I guess consistency of when we received the newsletters. He rolled out a couple of different options. One was annually, biannually and quarterly. So he had flexible options there as well. The products, they looked amazing. It came in
it's more like a booklet form, and we sold ads, and that's how we were able to decrease the cost. I think we were only responsible for the actual postage, but they were doing the design. It would be branded for our city. You could have up to 6 or 7 pages. It almost looked like a little like a little magazine kind of.
Yeah, and I'll say, definitely, I appreciate the feel, the look of the the newsletter.
The pamphlet, I guess, yeah.
Right. If I felt like it could, be very beneficial to the residents. So yeah, no complaints there. I guess to Councilwoman Fox's point, last year we did, raise this concern, the same concern that you're raising in regards to the citizens, wanting and appreciating the newsletter and the impact it had on our community. We decided at that time that, I think it was maybe two, maybe 3 council members at the time that wanted to kind of take on that initiative. And, even then it was heavy, it was heavy. So the fact that you're reintroducing this and looking to reestablish the committee, I can appreciate that. And I'm sure that the residents would appreciate that as well. Although that the product that was proposed, was quarterly, and it was in great taste. The format was amazing, and it really was good. I would really love to see, our residents be able to go to that mailbox every day and read about what's going on in Jonesboro, each and every month. But like I said, I think it's an opportunity for us to possibly do both, but like I said, I'm just saying, or if we don't do both, I think, polling the community and seeing exactly what format they would like, whether it's.
Yeah, we don't have time to poll. I
What
think we have a solution. We just need to act on it. The budget was just approved last month to move forward with that. We can get it done through that mechanism. Now, if y'all want to do a formal committee, then we can. Again, we could not do anything without a fiscal year 26 budget. And if I'm correct, y'all, we approved that in February?
Right.
Mayor.
Right. Yeah, just 1 second. Also, when we think about communications like this and the things that we're needing, I know there was a request to increase social media presence. There are just a number of things. And so right now we're doing that all in-house. The ideal solution to this is for us to have, but we couldn't do it, to look at a communications person, or that could serve with now when we have media releases. Either I'm writing it, Shelby's writing it, Taylor's writing it. When we're doing, it's just a number of communication type things that I think even from a DEA perspective that could be done. I am totally okay with moving forward with the option that with the meeting, maybe re-engaging that person and moving forward and having us a newsletter as soon as we can get one and take some. And the other thing, this newsletter benefits businesses because it gives them opportunity to advertise and to get into, I think it ends up being 4,200 homes. We've got more residents, but somewhere between $3,000 or $4,000 home. And so that's how they're able to, and the lift on us, which we can do now that the budget is approved, is that there are certain deadlines that we have to adhere to. And so because we're entering into engagement, we have no choice but to do those deadlines and provide it from every department.
All right, Mayor.
Yes.
All right, so I just did some research over the weekend with this information. So I see that no other city in Georgia has a newsletter committee. Most Georgia cities handle newsletters through their city manager or city administrator. I know we don't have one of those right now, but I know we still are looking, as well as the clerk's office, or even a contract and marketing communications firm, which you all did try to do before. A standing council created newsletter committee just is not common practice, and I found that it is quite unusual for a Georgia municipal government, because it is generally considered an executive or administrative matter, not really legislative, which is what we are. I feel like our role is more, policy and budget oversight, not really, content review. So with that, I just don't think it's necessary. Now, if there have been times when there have been, disputes over the spending of the newsletter, I don't know, or if residents do feel like excluded or misrepresented as a result of the newsletter. But I don't really just think it's absolutely necessary. But I do feel like there are some governance issues with it. So I just feel like it blurs the lines of, the separation of roles between us as policymakers and the staff as the administrative role. So I do agree with you there. And I am for us possibly hiring a communications person whose job it would solely be to do those things, and marketing and just communications in general on behalf of the city, because I know there's a lot more stuff we want to do social media wise, and I think that would really be good to have someone in that field. But even if we don't, or if we don't move forward with that idea of a specific communications person, there are some things within the document that I would like to edit. So do I just need to lay all those things out now, or? Okay.
Well, when you say separation of powers, my ears perk up as a lawyer. I just went and under the charter, so the charter, which is, the governing document that describes all of the rules for the mayor and the legislative body. And I was just, a couple of things I looked at when Councilwoman Kearney talks about the separation. So the powers and duties of the mayor, so it just says under 2.27, as chief executive of the city, the mayor shall, there's 10 things, but number 3 says exercise supervision over all executive and administrative work of the city and provide for the coordination of administrative activities. And then under number 6, recommend to council such measures relative to the affairs of the city, improvement of the government, and promotion of the welfare of its inhabitants as he may deem expedient. Kind of old. As she, I'm going to say she may deem expedient. So 3 and 6, to your point, Councilwoman Kearney, speak to the duty of the mayor exercising supervision over all executive and administrative work of the city and provide for the coordination of administrative activities, and empowers the mayor, says the mayor shall recommend such measures relative to the affairs of the city, improvement of the government, and promotion of the welfare of the city, the citizens. So I guess if you look at the creating a newsletter and what it does, that's speaking to
It
your
takes
point.
away
I
the
think, I'm
mayor's
not
stuff
sure if
per the
that's,
charter.
yes, so.
So let me just say this, because I hear both points, and I really appreciate Councilwoman Fox. So we have $3,000 in the budget, and we built that budget based on the $600 or $700, not per
Mayor,
month.
it's 10. We voted on 10.
I just,
We voted on 10,000.
what was it? I'm sorry, I'm asking the finance person. She gave me the wrong number.
Yeah, we increased it intentionally so that we can
Okay, so it's
bring back our
10,000.
budget again.
So
So
we-
we have, it's not gonna cost anything.
Okay, hold on a second.
fiscal.
So it's $10,000. Roughly, the postage for going through the company is, I think, 600 to 800. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, 700.
700. So that's 700 times 3 or 4, which is about 2,800, which means we have money left to contract out for someone to help us and facilitate the newsletter. Now, Councilwoman Fox, I would welcome you to meet with that company and work with this person, but I feel like that would be a win-win. We get a newsletter, we get somebody that kind of helps with the legwork. We've already allocated it. I will stick to those deadlines. I was really waiting on a budget to be approved, and once that budget approved, we had a long list of stuff that we needed to get started with. Would that please the council? I think any motion that we would entertain would be a motion to go into, well, no, we'll wait till next week. So I guess it's no motion. I mean, Councilwoman Fox, would you like to speak with that company and work with them?
I would like an option where we do something monthly. The previous administration was able to do this successfully. I mean, we had a
Yeah.
monthly newsletter.
I'm
so it's
not the previous
impossible.
administration, so
Right, I
we're
understand.
not doing it monthly. I can tell you, because I've spoken with staff, and you always talk about poll staff. It's a continuous turnaround. It takes 6 days to print something. I mean, to format it, print it, circulate it, and then by the time we get it out, a lot of times, because waiting for staff to get it, then it's outdated. I think 3 months task us to put a calendar out that far, so nothing is ever outdated. It's not like I didn't, I worked with Councilman Dixon. And who was here when we did that? Probably nobody, because it was just a lot. Oh, I'm sorry, I won't put you on the side. But it's a lot that goes into it. And I don't hear about a previous administration. So the solution that I'm willing to support is that we have a company that comes in. You think it's funny? Okay, we can just, next on the agenda item.
Mayor,
Next on the agenda. No, we're gonna go to the next. Next on the agenda.
Letter E, council to consider a resolution establishing quarterly reporting from city boards, authorities, and committees to the mayor and council.
Thank you. That's me again. May I
Yes.
speak? Thank you.
Councilwoman Fox.
This is to establish a formal process requiring quarterly updates from the chairpersons of the city boards, authorities, and committee departments. To include, I spoke to Councilman Dixon, JYCG, of course, so all of our committees that falls underneath the charter ordinances. This is not, I just list a few, but this would be from now until future. Directly to the mayor, for them to come to the, directly to the mayor and council in order to strengthen transparency, improve collaboration, enhance accountability, and support overall benefit of the community. I put this in place because oftentimes we as council and mayor, we don't have time to attend every meeting that is happening with our city, with the different committees and the boards that we want to support, and there are times where there are several meetings happening at one time. In the city, it would be awesome to hear from the committee boards once a quarter. I'm proposing once a quarter where whoever that they designate to come and just kind of give us an overall report of how they're doing, what's happening with them, how we can better assist them. And if there's anything that they need from us, that will be our time to be able to engage in conversation rather than being responsible to go to every one of their meetings or some of their meetings. It'll just give us, also the community, an opportunity to hear what these different committees and departments are doing, which they're doing, volunteering their precious time into our community. So just increasing transparency and communication and being able to hear from our committees and making sure that they're good and we're engaging with them.
All right.
I'm talking, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
So the, in your ordinance, your chart, it's chapter 33, you have a list of boards, commission, and authorities, so they're all created by ordinance. So I just would recommend that if we do this, and if it's gonna come back for next week, that I draft an ordinance. It will be in the form of an ordinance that applies to all of those boards, commission, and authorities, consistent with the ordinance they're creating them, will just be that reporting requirement rather than a resolution.
Okay.
If that's
Awesome.
the one about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And can we spell out those committees and boards so I'm clear on it?
Mayor?
Yeah, I wanted just to spell them out for me. Can you have the charter in front of you?
I had more at one time, so they're in different places, but I see you got the Main Street Advisory Board, you have the Jonesboro Youth Council.
Youth city government, it should say.
It's called youth, so we need to change that.
It's, it's codified, but it's not online, yes.
So, so the city clerk sends everything up to Municode, and it takes them a while.
Yes.
I think they do it quarterly. They upgrade our things, but I know we saw the beautification committee. I saw a lot of committees that are in here, the commission.
So the resolution will speak to each committee?
The ordinance.
The ordinance,
will
I'm sorry,
apply to
ordinance.
all of the committees that are referenced. So it'll just be a general reporting requirement rather than changing each ordinance for each committee, it'll just be a general broad requirement for all of your committees and your.
Okay. And
they'll
can we also add in there that they would have, that a report, well, never mind, they're gonna do it anyway, but that the report is submitted to the mayor in writing for review?
So you want just go ahead.
I mean, it's just like
clarify
when
for me.
department heads present, a lot of times we'll go over their report, see if I need them to add anything else or anything to add.
As I understand it, the will of the body is to have an ordinance that will require your committee, your formal committees and your charter and your ordinances to have a quarterly reporting of all activity for
Not
the
all that.
or
Not
what would you
necessarily
want?
activity, just if they have an announcement. Oh, I'm sorry.
But we don't need an ordinance. I mean, anytime they want to do an announcement, they're more than welcome to come. So I
Right.
don't want to over ordinance something because somebody want a level of control.
That's a legislative decision.
Yeah, so I mean, we can go on and do it, but just ultimately know that certain things come back to me anyway, so. But any committee, I think, Faith, you're over 2 or 3 committees. So she would be the one reporting for all 3 of those. So if y'all want committee, so at any time that y'all email me and say we want a committee report, I just call up the committee and tell them, I didn't know it was the council, but we can ordinance that too. Yes.
Okay. All right, thanks. So, I know a lot of cities do have different, reviews and stuff like that. Like I attend the Atlanta Transportation Committee meetings all the time, as well as their utility meetings. And I know like quarterly, their, ATO DOT will come, out and speak. I don't know if that's necessary for us, just because of our size and relation, but I mean, it's not necessarily, a bad thing exactly. I don't know if we feel disconnected from these committees as a council or not. I don't think I do, because anytime I'm, available, I'm able to go into their meetings and, listen in. And I don't feel like there's been any, communication gaps anywhere. One thing I am afraid of is that it would become more redundant than anything, just, having these committees come forth or authorities come forth and brief their information. I'm scared that it will slow these meetings down, which, as we can see, can be quite lengthy in nature. And I just don't want to politicize our volunteer boards. These are people from our community who are just really trying to, you know, add to, not subtract from. And I just don't want them to get, you know, a nasty taste in their mouths, you know, because of something, you know, that could be created, you know, out of ill intent. So I do support the intent of this resolution. I just think that regular communication between appointed bodies and the governing authority can, you know, help us stay aligned. But I just want to recommend that we clarify the scope of, you know, this document and define the format and time parameters. I don't think it should just be whenever we ask. I think it should be, if we're going to do this, it needs to be as formal as possible, because they do. Some of these entities do have their own autonomy under Georgia law, and I think we need to still be respectful of that and just add structure that will, you know, in turn make it more efficient. So I can send this information to whoever, like who's I guess would be in charge of, you know, this document. Would it be Councilwoman Fox or would it be somebody else?
Well, I mean, Councilwoman Fox are writing resolution, so the attorney has to redo it. And I also want to say this, because all of these meetings are subject to, what was that you just told us? That all the minutes are available and nothing will probably be presented beyond minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct? I mean, I know like the Historic Commission, I don't even know what they'll come here and talk about, but talk about who wanted the fence and who wanted to change their colors and all of that stuff, but all of that is available in their packets. So this whole idea when we talk about transparency, state law requires us to be transparent. And so transparency is met just by virtue of the documentation that we are required to provide. So I want to kind of just dispel, got to be transparent. You know, we are transparent. Mm-hmm. Because those things are always publicized, they're always public. And at any time that you want minutes for meeting, no one has ever requested minutes from me in regard to any of these committees. No one has ever asked, Mayor, can Historic Commission or Beautification Committee come provide something for me? I've never been asked that, because if I was asked that, I'd be like, sure. And then we would add to the agenda. So I think that, again, to what, and I had not talked to Councilwoman prior to this, you know, she brought up some good points. I do think a lot of this, particularly last three things, have been like politically pushed and motivated for control. And again, if you want to know, there is nothing that and I hope they don't come up here and report something that's not included in their minutes. That means we got a bigger problem. Because the minutes, am I correct, Attorney? And GIST should include all major announcements.
Formal action, yes.
Correct. And if someone comes and shares something else that wasn't part of that meeting, then we're in trouble. That means they're making some consensus outside of a quorum that we're required by law to have. So I just want to be kind of careful on that. But at any time, anyone ever asks me to hear from a committee, the committee is welcome. Like I said, 2 committees are up under Ms. Sakuta, and she comes to the microphone every day, once a month. And so if y'all have any questions about those committees, you can always ask her. I know y'all talk to Derry. Derry's always available. He loves to come talk about the Beautification Committee. JYCG comes and does public comment. The DDA is right there. And I'm trying to think of whichever ones we missed. So I just don't want to perceive like we're not being transparent. We are.
Right, Mayor?
Yes.
So the staff, I just want to make sure of all of the different boards, committees, stuff like that, does staff already provide regular reports? Does the mayor meet with these chairs, I guess, pretty often?
I meet with staff chairs, like I meet with Mr. Walker, who is code enforcement. So when I have our periodic meeting, we discuss that, like we've been discussing the trash wars. The other ones, I just review minutes. So rather than taking up time from the chairs and everything like that, I just always ask for a set of minutes, review the minutes. If there's any questions, the DDA, I'm usually there, but if I'm absent or something, I would just follow up with him. The Historic Commission, I peek at it and I'll ask Faith, like, why they want a pink fence or something. Okay. So I rely on those rather than taking up additional staff time to come do a report.
Okay, and I know the issues that we've had before with the DDA prior. So, but of the other, entities, are there any performance or transparency issues that have ever been brought up or brought to our attention?
I don't know. Councilwoman Fox, you have some transparency issues?
This is specifically for to speak with the department, the chairs or whoever they designate to just come and just give us a quick. It doesn't have to be I understand that it needs to be detailed. It doesn't have to be that deep. But this is mainly just increasing engagement. Give them an opportunity to come before council or vice versa, and then communicate. I would love to hear from some of the other council members, if that's okay, Mayor, and just to
If they
kind of
wanna
get their
talk, raise their
input.
hand.
Thank you so much.
So also, if they're a staff member, again, so the chairs of just about, yeah, this is just a rabbit hole. Okay. But just know if it's staff, yeah, just leave it. If you would like minutes to the meeting, please let Madam Clerk know, and she'll provide you minutes for every meeting, as if they had it on you. But again, I think it should be optional, if you all want a discussion or you have specific questions, but I just don't know what we would talk about for the beautification committee if y'all had to do a report. Have y'all ever been to a beautification committee meeting?
I am part of
Yeah.
beautification, ma'am.
Yeah, so why don't you provide the report then?
If I can hear from the other council members.
No, I'm just saying that they didn't raise their hand. You can't force them to talk. Y'all got something to say? Okay, yeah, but if you're on the beautification committee, you want to provide you want to share with us now? Don't want to? Okay. Yes.
I appreciate the dialogue from both sides, and I really understand both sides. You know, I will say that an engaged community and an informed community are really the strongest communities that there is. So I appreciate, you know, the resolution. I think it would be great to hear from our residents, but, you know, like it was stated also, you know, they have free will to do so.
Okay.
But you know, we'd love to hear from council. I love the fact that we're formalizing this and empowering our volunteer boards to truly get engaged and to truly report, you know, the matters that are on their hearts. But just want to give my 2 cents.
Yes, Councilwoman Messick.
I think I'm ready, I feel like I'm taking more of a positive spin on this.
Well, I think we all are, but go ahead.
I
Make
hope
it-
so, because I'm thinking to view this as, maybe our committees have good things to tell us and good things to share.
They're in the minutes.
And those are the things that we would like for
All
them.
right, committee, y'all come share whenever y'all want to. Let's go on and get this approved so we can move
Mayor,
past this
Mayor,
agenda.
I'm-
No, we're fine. I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance, the mayor and city council for the city of Jonesboro for reporting from city committees and authority chairs.
We may have to
No,
wait.
but first of all, you're not talking, there you go, she's talking, and she has not been acknowledged. We don't have to drag this out. There's a motion on the floor to approve. This is gonna go back and forth. It's not a respecter of time. I am not opposed to this. She has prepared this via ChatGPT. Let's go ahead, along with other documents that have been provided. You said it has to be an ordinance. Let's entertain a motion for an ordinance can come before us so that it's written and spelled out. Because what we have to get in the practice of, not just voting on, we want to do it, but voting on approving the ordinance. So let's vote on moving forward with the creation of an ordinance by the attorney to bring back for us next week to vote.
Do we have to vote on it, Mayor?
Yeah, we have to vote on the ordinance when we approve the ordinance.
Well,
Right,
are
but
you-
wouldn't that
well,
be next
today-
week?
Yes.
No,
I
but I'm
think
just saying, do they
it'll be
want- they might
moving
wanna-
It'll be moving forward. I think that's what y'all do, is you just move it forward
to
to the.
consent.
Well, I didn't know if she
agenda.
wanted to vote or something, but we can move forward with the completion of ordinance to be presented to us next week? Are
Yes,
y'all
if
all in
if y'all
compliance with
direct-
that? Okay, we're all good with that. All right, next on the agenda.
Not voting on it.
Next item, E, council to consider, F. Council to consider a memorandum of understanding between Clayton County, Georgia and the city of Jonesboro, Georgia regarding the construction of a winter weather building salt barn.
Council, the county approached me with a memorandum of understanding. There's no physical impact on us. This is kind of common because of where it's located. The attorney did review over it. I don't think she had any questions, so I would like for this just to move to the consent agenda. Their attorney prepared it, our attorney reviewed it. Again, no physical impact on us. It's just a matter of where this particular parcel is located. Consent agenda for everybody?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Next on the agenda,
Letter G,
would you like to call those appointments out for me?
yes.
Thank you.
All right. Council to consider approval of the appointment for an associate solicitor in the municipal court for the city of Jonesboro.
And that person's name is?
Hold on.
Again, we reached out to Mrs. Kerr, who's our current solicitor, and asked her who her preference would be for the associate solicitor. Do you have
Her
that?
name is LaRoya Chester Jennings.
And to my knowledge, she's already filled in a few times for her.
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion for approval. Y'all don't want to approve the solicitor?
Can we just, how do we discuss? We can't discuss it?
We'll make a motion, then we go into
Okay,
discussion.
So made.
All right, any discussion?
Is this the person that's already been here? I'm sorry to ask this. Can
So
you
no,
just
so we have a
clarify?
solicitor, and when the solicitor is not here, like for absence, then she calls an associate solicitor. What we found out, I don't know how we found out, but we realized that in January, we did not appoint our associate solicitors.
Okay.
And so this, she's already been filling in, we just needed to formally actually appoint her.
Okay.
We've appointed our solicitor yearly, but not the associate solicitor. And again, we, Madam Clerk emailed her for her recommendation, so we took her recommendation, which is common.
Okay.
There's a motion on the floor, it's been appropriately second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Great. Next.
Okay. Next item is council to consider approval of the appointment for an associate judge in the municipal court for the city of Jonesboro. And that name, is Judge Nyla Grant McFarland.
Yeah, and she was appointed last in 2022. So we saw that her appointment was just outdated, she was approved before. So
Okay.
I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So made.
Second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you, council, so very much. Item I.
Item I, we have, discussion regarding electronic communication between mayor and council.
Yes, ma'am, you ready? So I just wanted, I guess this would be more so like a legal matter for Attorney Wiley. I just wanted to know, well, I guess I can address the mayor. Receiving an email earlier today, just saying that the mayor is deleting, not receiving any more emails, deleting all my emails. We don't have a city manager, so if I have a specific question about something, just need to know the proper protocol on this matter.
So Attorney Wiley corrected me and said I couldn't delete it, although I don't empty my deletion. So we've made provisions for your emails. Like when I feel like they're at the point of harassing and nitpicking, then I just, for the work that has to get done at the city, I just needed them to go to another envelope. But I was corrected, I cannot delete them. So we came up with a IT remedy for that.
May I speak? For the record,
I didn't acknowledge you yet. So, so our IT person created a folder, so it's for the record, I will not delete emails, I only delete spam from Councilwoman Fox. It'll go to a designated folder for my review. Yes.
Thank you for clarifying. For the record, I'm not sending harassment emails. I'd be more than happy to read my emails out loud so that the public can see whether or not it's harassment or not.
It's not up to
But
the public to determine whether I consider them harassment or not, and we're not gonna get into that. Is there a remedy that you would like for the council to consider at this point?
What I would like to say for the record is that I'm asking information. So if I'm not getting it, you know, for example, if I'm asking for information from the last meeting and then the response is I'm busy, well, then my response is, well, should we consider a city council? I mean, should we consider a city manager? Because if we don't have a city manager and the mayor is the CEO of our governing body, then who are we supposed to get information from?
You can
at
get the
time we
information
matter?
from me. So let me just correct this. She asked for something February 9th. What she was asking for was forensic information that we had clearly advised the attorney to work with. So your issue is that when you want something from me, you act like I work for you, and it needs to be, you got it in 30 days. Now, at any point, you can always do an open records request, and we're required at that particular point to provide it. But the information that you were specifically asking for, and prior to this incident, I typically task it out almost immediately. This is your only concern, and this was something related to the forensic audit that I had been advised to allow the attorney to have it. Typically, when you ask for something, Councilwoman Fox, no matter, because you know I email you back at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. I also call you sometimes to get clarification. So this is one incident. And I think for you to make a blanket statement, it did get to be harassing when you, some of the words, interpretation of harassment is to the person that's receiving it. I felt like it was, and I felt like for the work that we needed to do moving forward today, I needed those emails. I didn't need to have privy to them. Now I have a solution for them. But you're only talking about one incident. I usually call you for clarification. Staff is charged with getting the information immediately. When things, also after every council meeting and regular session, I send out an email. And I also delegate any responsibility from the council meeting to the appropriate staff member. So if they weren't here, if it's something, Shelby, did you follow up? Taylor, you need to work on that. We do that. But this instance, you did ask at the council meeting February 9th, but I also believe those instructions were for the attorney. Attorney and I have been going back and forth, and so you got the information today. You did. All righty. Next on the agenda.
Okay. Letter,
I suggest we all go to lunch, the three of us go to lunch.
I mean, I've tried.
That's my
it.
legal opinion. That's my
yeah,
legal opinion.
That's mine too, but you know.
Let's go to lunch. And Councilman Cameron Dixon comes with us.
Let's get approval for the city to pay first, so we won't have a forensic audit about that. All right, next on the agenda.
discussion regarding the use of the city logo and seal.
No,
Or city
well,
logo.
I mean, the city logo, the seal is quite clear, but I'll let the mayor go
Okay,
ahead.
city logo.
So the use of the logo, we don't have a provision for it, and I have not monitored that closely. I know, for example, Councilman Dixon, you use it, and
Yeah.
you don't come before me for approval, do you?
Correct.
Yeah, so I just trust that it's used in a matter. Now, if y'all want to do a resolution for that, we can. I know when I was on council, anything that we wanted to put on letterhead, and I think Councilman, you can attest to this, anything we wanted to put on letterhead had to be sent to the city manager for approval. You remember that? You don't? You don't remember that? No, I can show you emails from Mr. Clark. Like, it had to be sent to them. Maybe y'all didn't ask for it or y'all just did it, but it had to be sent to them for approval, and I can show you emails. I typically don't manage that either. So I think, did somebody send you stationery?
Well, yes, I did receive.
Yeah, so
the-
there is, I would like for us to have standard uniform stationery, so no everybody's not going on and creating theirs. So when you ask for some, we went in and put your name. But everyone is welcome to that and to use it at your leisure. I don't, does that answer your question?
Well, that's why I was asking, because are we moving on to the communications part, or is that?
No, are you satisfied with the logo?
Yeah, as long as I'm able to use the logo, because it wasn't quite clear whether or not I was, especially if I'm hosting city events. I want to get it on the record that I'm able to use it, because
Okay, it's on the record. She can use the logo.
You can use the,
Yes,
it's an
thank
elected
you.
official.
Thank you.
I
Like,
appreciate
it
that.
could have just simply been asked. But anyway, next on the
Wait.
agenda. Sorry.
did.
Mayor,
Yes.
my bad. Is this pertaining to the letterhead by any chance, or is that the next agenda item?
No, I'll just add this. If council would ask letterhead, I would just ask that we use the city standard letterhead. And if you request it and copy me, Shelby will just create it. I created Councilwoman Fox, but I would prefer for us to we have a official seal letterhead, and then we have an official logo letterhead. I think I sent you the seal.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure, because I did ask a councilman over at Forest Park, and they do have the ability to use letterheads as council people
Yeah.
as well. I just want to make sure.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I make a recommendation, and it happens all the time, that for the council, there's the official letterhead should have all of the council members' name and your positions, if you are Mayor Pro Tem, and that is available to everyone to use. As elected officials, you should have a standard letterhead, City of Jonesboro, showing who the mayor can be. All down the left side, I've seen it at the top. I just showed Chandrella some. But there should not have to be, in my legally, there's no requirement to have each member have a separate designated letterhead. There could be one letterhead with all of you all's names on it as elected officials, and it should be available to you when you're sending out communications in your official capacity. The only limitation, you can't send out things seeking, related to campaigning or fundraising. You can't use it for that purposes, but if you want to send out something to your constituents or write a letter to a constituent who's reached out to you in your official capacity, you use that letterhead and you send it out. It's uniform for everyone.
Okay, so we will work on getting that. In the meantime, if you all need letterhead, the one that we have, a header and footer, I can just quickly change it. But I will work with Chandrella, add it to your list, Chandrella, to getting one. And I've seen that before. And so let's get some examples of that and then make that official. I don't think we've ever had that, but at least while I was on council.
Mayor, I just
Yes.
want to make sure. The uses of this letterhead, would that be the information sent out as well? Like, can it be used, you know, politically? Can
Oh,
it
yes,
be-
I'll send out a memo, since we're
Okay.
now doing this, so I'll send a memo out just saying what you can't do, so that you won't inadvertently do it. Sometimes you can do it inadvertently, but cannot use it for a campaign. It can't be used in any way to, that would, outside of your official capacity. It can only be used, so you can't send it, like if you're paying your Georgia Power bill, you can't say, hey, in a letter, here's my Georgia Power bill. So only in your official capacity, that's an extreme example. Only in your official capacity doing work. So if Councilman Alfred Dixon wanted to send a letter to the Clayton County, that nonprofit board, and he wants to set up a meeting, he could draft a letter on that and say, hey.
And do not need approval, correct?
You do not need approval.
Just wanted to make sure.
No, you do not need approval.
Make
Thank
that
you.
sure again. Also, I mean, we can use these for things, like I use them when I'm giving letter of recommendation, out of the office of the mayor. We can use them for letter of recommendations and things like that. College students and stuff. All righty. Thank you all so much. Next on the agenda.
Might need help with this one, because I had letterhead for the next item.
Councilwoman,
was
Fox, is there something additional for item K?
No, Attorney Wiley answered it. That was mainly because the response was authorization and approval obtained by the mayor, and I don't feel like I should have had to do that.
She
as
just
my
clarified it. I didn't say that. Chandrella said that. My goodness. Some of this could be, y'all, for those that are joining us today, some of this can be so easily rectified. If this one down here just simply picked up the phone and called and said, hey,
Can we get back to the?
I need some, yeah,
please?
when I finish.
Please.
Because this is stalling meetings and everything. All she did was call. And when she did call, I got her the stationery. So our clerk, I saw, said they require approval, and the clerk and I spoke with that to clarify. All righty, go on to the next. Are there any business, are we going into executive session?
I don't have anything for executive session.
Perfect. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
No, we have another item on the audit. I think the forensic audit.
We got what? Oh, we got the audit. Yeah, let's get that. Yes,
Old
please.
business forensic audit.
I forgot. I got happy.
Oh, it's done.
I guess, should I take this?
Yep, this is yours. Can you come to the microphone?
Oh, well, let me, I took my jacket off.
Oh, no, you can stay then. That's fine.
Mayor, do
No,
we
go
have
ahead.
any copies of anything?
Mm-mm. We sent it to you via email. We're trying to save on copying.
I realized that when you asked for a copy, and I said Chandrella should be able to copy them. I
Chandrella, did
forwarded
you
it
make
to
the
her,
copies?
but not the attachment.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
you want to pull it up, I can send it to Tran or someone if they want to
Can
pull
we
it up.
just
here.
have at least one copy so that I can go home with it?
Oh, before you leave or during the
Yeah,
discussion?
before I leave, if possible. Or I can pick it up tomorrow.
Yeah, y'all don't have a printer in your office?
I'll forward it to her.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna set up a printer in their office so they can come up and print. Okay.
All right, so what I sent to you all, so this follows up on the update from, I think on the February 9th, I gave an update. This item regarding the status of the forensic audit was placed on the agenda. And I recounted to mayor and council what my conversation was with the accountant at Plant Moran, and gave you all what a rendition of the conversation I had with her when I asked, one, about the status of the investigation as to when it was going to be completed, and then secondly, I asked her if she could, I followed up on the request that she itemize the invoice following my review of some October and November emails between the prior city attorney, between the mayor and the prior city attorney, where the mayor was asking for itemization of a $45,000 invoice that was sent for phase 2 and 3, I believe. And so I followed up on that request. I told you all, I won't recount unless you all need me to, what I told you all on the 9th. But ultimately she said, no, we don't do that. We don't do itemized billings. And that was concerning to me. And I relayed that to you all. After that meeting, there was an email that was sent to you all on February 19th from the CPA, the accountant, directly to you all, to me, and copying you all, which I took offense to, because that email caused a lot of consternation amongst the council members, that I thought was unnecessary for a vendor to do that. And as I spoke to the vendor about why she made this decision, because I think the contract requires her to go through the city attorney, She said she felt she needed to defend her company because there was a news article about what happened at the meeting on the 9th. I had not seen that news article. I still have not read that news article. But interestingly, I did ask the accountant if she viewed the meeting instead of what the article said happened at the meeting. She said she had not reviewed the meeting. And she apologized for that, reacting to that. All of that to say this. The issue of the forensic investigation, the status of that forensic analysis, we spoke at length, and I sent you all a memo that she sent to me. This is a draft after we had our conversation about her email to you all on the 19th. She sent something, and she noted two things significantly. One, she said, you know, I apologize, I should have looked at everything in context, as I told her. I don't know what the news article said. I have seen news reports not be complete or accurate in their reporting, and I just was disappointed as a vendor that she would take a news article and send something to the governing body. Secondly, I told her that we have 3 brand new members of council, and that her assumption in her email that everything was going fine until now, this year, well, that presupposes the fact that there's been a turnover in our council. So there were, and I tried to explain to her that our new council, our 3 new members, didn't know, have all the inside information that the prior council had. So of course they wanted to get information. Of course they wanted to understand what was going on. So this email that I sent y'all earlier today, the memo where she sort of set forth what the scope was, because that was another concern I had, that it was not clear what the scope of the investigation was, a forensic audit. And so she said that the engagement commenced due to 3 initial areas of concerns by the city council. She said credit card purchases, accounts payable, disbursements, and employee benefit payments. That the city in January of last year issued an RFP seeking forensic audit, credit card transactions, accounts payable transactions, and employee benefits transactions by elected city officials and city staff for the 2023 and 2024 fiscal years. At some point after this RFP was closed and Plant Moran was selected, she said that they revised the scope and increased it from 7 tasks to 14 tasks, and added grant compliance analysis that was not in the RFP. So they're doing grants, and what else did she say? They added, it was a larger scope that was added. The phase 1 of her task order was she met with individual council members, got their concerns about what they felt were issues, and then determined the scope of work based on those individual discussions, which she indicated were purposely done to keep it from being public, which I had a problem with. As a city attorney, there's nothing private about what the scope was. All of this should have been out in the open, including the results of the individual interviews. She should have made all that public. She said that that was not the recommendation that she had from the prior city attorney. So I don't fault anyone who, on this dais, who operated under the guidance of your previous city attorney. But this is not a privileged investigation. There is no attorney-client privilege. Everything that is being done in this audit is a matter of public record. As a result of our discussion, she did, as you can see on your page 2 of that memo, she did do a refinement of the work that she did to justify the invoices. So you all paid $15,520 for her to interview the mayor pro tem, and council members to learn of concerns. And I want the public to understand that individual council member, you only have authority as a group. You don't have any individual. I know the mayor has some individual authority as the CEO, but even then, that authority is limited. in terms of what she can commit this city to do. So any individual concerns gathered from individual members should have come back in a public forum, and those individual concerns should have been voted on as the will of this body. These are our concerns. Again, it was not perfectly done. So we have individual concerns that were never put forth and voted on as the concerns of the entire body, and that's what is going on now. The shroud of secrecy or the shroud of not knowing what's going on is due to instructions that the accountant had to begin with. That's my determination. The current invoice of $45,000 was not given any type of itemization of how she came about that. But what she did decide to do, and what we talked about, was the original contract listed a scope of a number of people who would do work, all the way from like $595 to maybe $175. And then there was a statement that said the blended hourly rate would be $300 an hour. It gives the impression that that $300 an hour was going to be what you all were going to be charged. The accountant said that was an error to put that in there because she understood that it was a mistake, that it gave the mistaken impression that they were just going to charge you all $300. As it turns out, you all were charged at the $550 and the $450 rate. There was no lower tier employees engaged. And that's why you have a $92.75 hours for a bill of $45,000. The other thing I asked, do you have all the documents you need? She said, yes, I have everything I need. The only thing I do not have is information that is my fault because I didn't gather it. So there was nothing that the city had not provided for her to do her analysis. And as you can see, what she has offered was 2 different outcomes at this options. They ceased doing the work because of the fact that they would not give us a itemized invoice, and so there was some stalling there. But what she said was, listen, we can do one of 2 things. We can complete our engagement under the current contract, or prepare a new contract to revise the scope of work and or remove the former city attorney's name. Why did she put that in there? Because the attorney signed the contract, and she was under the impression that the contract was with her and the city attorney. That's not accurate. You are the client. The contract should have been with the city, unless the city council came out and said, we authorize the city attorney to sign this contract. I'm not sure, maybe y'all did, Councilwoman Messick, maybe you remember. But she was under the impression that because it was signed by the attorney, that everything she did under that agreement was protected by attorney-client privilege. That you cannot use attorney-client privilege in that manner to shield something that's not attorney-client privilege. So that's the reason she said, if we prepare a revised contract, a new contract, revise the scope of work, I don't know what that means, and or remove the former city attorney's name from the contract. That's my update. If y'all have any questions, if I skipped over something, please ask me.
I do want to speak to something. This is really important to me for the sake of transparency, because we like to throw that around. I want to highlight some points. On November 17th, she stated she had everything she needed when she came for our field work. So she came in, spent a week here, and at that time, she has not requested anything beyond that. So why it's taking so long for us to get where we need to get, I'm not sure. But
May I answer that question as you
yes,
go?
she did tell you?
She told me y'all remember when I was here on the February 9th, she told me that the report could be completed by the 26th, February 26th. That's what she told me. And what happened though, on February 16th, she saw the news article and had some feelings about that, and then she paused the work. So that's where we are now. The work is paused, but she initially told me on the 9th that she could have it done by the 26th.
Okay, so I just want council, we're clear that she had all the paperwork from all staff and we complied on November 17th and they spent a week here. Also, I still have concerns about a blended rate and what our contractual agreement said. It said a blended rate of $300, and I think the interpretation should be that. She even said that most of this work, a significant amount of this work will be done at the lower rate. But both of her itemized invoices, which is why I was pushing that, never gives us a lower rate. It gave us a higher rate, and I just really, I hope she's listening to it now. I just feel like she's just trying to put the numbers in to get to the total. Because you cannot say in a contract a blended rate of 300 and then come here and tell us, break down the hours, and of all the hours, nothing was done below the 450 rate. We have 35.5 hours at 550, 57.25 hours at 450. It clearly says a blended rate. That doesn't blend. It doesn't. I also want to bring up again a point that, and I totally respect Attorney Wiley coming in, being objective, but this level of secrecy that council people were allowed to have at the taxpayer's expense of $550. Several times on the dais, I asked for the record, what are the allegations? What are you concerned about? And the previous council gave none. But then they got to a sofa, apparently, and was able to vent at a rate of $550 to come up with 14 allegations that y'all couldn't say. So you're not going to get that secrecy. When this is done, every document and every note will be made available. And who caused our citizens to pay this enormous amount for some allegations that you were too coward to sit here and stay on the dais? I'm going to call it like it is.
Mayor.
This is not about, one second, this is not about Mayor Sarter defending herself. The forensic audit would do that. This is about me defending people sitting up here disliking me and having the opportunity in private to accuse me of something because you cannot accuse me for the record. That is highly problematic. And even so, if you weren't alarmed by it, look at the rate we've been charged, $550. So Councilwoman Messick, previous Councilwoman member Powell, Councilman Alfred Dixon, Councilman Don Dixon, and Councilman Billy Power, I don't know if you were interviewed yet, could sit in quiet peace, not in the public eye, to accuse me of something. So just know that every last one of those notes and documents, because when this final report is given, I want it to be given in a format where it says allegation number 1. And I want to be vindicated for everything that you all said in private because you were not strong enough or bold enough to say it in person. So as a result, here we are. We got a forensic audit person, got a feelings hurt every time something go to the news. I ain't never seen the likes of that. Sending emails to me, getting smart with me, that's not going to happen, and I'm going to pay you. Sitting up here changing a contract that said it was a blended rate of 300, and now she wants to charge us $450 and $550. So we're going to be transparent. That's what y'all like, transparency. So let's be transparent. Okay, I'm
Madam
finished.
Mayor,
I'm
may I
talk a
say-
little bit more when this result comes back. But this annoys the heck out of me. Spending taxpayers' money.
I was not in any way implying or suggesting that anyone was being cowardly.
I did. I didn't
or-
say that. No, not you, Attorney Wiley. I did not put, the
I didn't
mayor
want-
said.
What I really wanted to press upon everyone is that this could have been handled in a way that was more open so that there wouldn't be so many questions today. Because not knowing what the scope is, not knowing exactly what she was commissioned to do or this company was commissioned has caused consternation and confusion. And I think had there been openness and transparency, we would probably have had less than that. And I also want to reemphasize, I said this, I want to say this. I cannot blame if former council members were given instruction by someone who occupied this seat or whomever that this was the process to follow, then of course they're going to follow the instruction of their council. You all are lay people, and I'm not impugning anyone, but I do know, according to the accountant, that this is what the legal arm of the city, how they wanted it set up. And so if people were acting underneath that, authority, then I can understand why. I don't impute any motives or not. Madam Mayor, you're free to make your decisions. I just want to make sure that I am being very neutral in my reporting.
And let me clarify, you are very neutral. I mean, I'm very political, I mean very attorney-ish, juris doctorate-ish. But let me also be very clear. They were not advised by legal counsel. They were asked. So they were not advised. They took it upon themselves to say, this is how we want to do it. This is how we want to do our witch hunt. We want to, and I was only one vote, we want to be able to tell in private what we think you have done. And they consented, the current dais at the time, not the attorney. The attorney works at our will. He did not recommend that. I asked over and over again for clear allegations, and they voted to do this. The way the scope is, y'all ever had a forensic audit where we pay somebody $15,000 to figure out what we want them to figure out? That's exactly what we did. I mean, you don't have to agree to it. The scope was we paid $15,000 to interview people to come up with what y'all want them to find that I did wrong. $15,000. You cannot blame that on the previous attorney. It's a mess. It's another witch hunt. And add it to the $300,000 we've already spent on your previous witch hunt. I will not be silent about this because it's ridiculous. And at some point, we need to stop it. And then when you have a vendor getting somewhat aggravated with us, the client, then it's even more problematic because now she knows she has to release all these documents that I hope you have for $550 an hour. Yes, I'm sorry.
All right. So I can't wait for the results of this forensic audit to come out. So in regards to the forensic audit, I do have a couple questions. So Attorney Wiley, earlier you said she expanded the scope. How did she get information to expand the scope without council approval?
From the private interviews.
Mayor.
I'm just saying, go ahead.
From the interviews she had with the individuals during the phase 1, talking to the individual council members, she came up with an expanded scope.
Oh, okay. And did this invoice that she submitted to you match the one that the mayor originally received, or did she have to do some, because I know when you take something, everybody knows if you take something to your healthcare provider and you ask for itemized receipt, a couple charges go away. So I'm wondering if that happened or no.
No, ironically, it totaled $45,000 exactly with a $197 discount to round it off. So I'm not lying. That's what it said.
The range of here it says the current rates for the primary project team are shown below, and approximate a blended hourly rate of $300 depending on the complexity of the matter. These hourly rates remain consistent from the proposed scope of work and any additional services requested related to this situation. So there's the principal partner, $550 an hour, senior manager, $450, manager, $350, senior consultant, $250, and consultant, $175 per hour. Right. And what the $45,000 invoice came, was she just divvied up those hours between the $550 an hour, which is hers, and then she attributed the remaining hours to the $450 an hour senior manager, and we came up with almost $45,000. She had to take away $200, but she told me that she and her senior manager were the only ones who really worked on this project, so there weren't any lower rate individuals. That answers your question. So the only thing that changed from the original invoice to what we have now is we know she showed who did what, and the work. Well, all we know is the hours and the amount. We don't know what they did. We still don't know what that consisted of.
Okay. Well, I work in transportation infrastructure, so I deal with a lot of different consulting firms. So yeah, they pretty much bill for that highest person usually. That's usually how it sadly works with those companies. So hopefully, going forward, because I do have 2 more questions left.
whatever votes that this council chooses to pursue, if they do in fact impact our tax-paying citizens, I will make sure that it is absolutely known. I'll be going back to those past agendas just so everybody knows and making sure they know who voted on this information and who is also in support of, because I do have screenshots from our different social media sites of who was pushing for a forensic audit with no evidence. So I would like to know two extra things. When is do we know the date of completion, like when this audit will be complete, and where do we currently stand now? Like, are these now the invoices that have to be paid so we can get the results, or where do we stand?
So one of the issues, if you don't mind, I'm answering the last portion. So one of the concerns that the accountant had with the newspaper article is that it said that Jonesboro government raises concerns about a possible $100,000 cost of doing this audit. And so her email to you all on the February 19th, we don't know where this number came from, what blase. But if you look in the agreement that they sent on April 10th, it says that it will range between $65,000 and $95,000, and it could go over. And so when I got the $15,000 invoice, and I think you all paid $20,000 retainer, right, Madam Mayor?
Yeah, and that's supposed
that's
to be subtracted
35.
from our last bill.
$35,000, and then we have a pending $45,000. That's $80,000, and then I was told it would take another $35,000 to finish the report. So that's over $100,000. I was curious as to why she took offense to the $100,000 number when logically it was almost $100,000. Having said that, when will she paused the word? If y'all will authorize payment of this $45,000 without any kind of itemization, which you can do, I think they want to make certain they're going to get paid. So I don't know what the remainder amount would be if you pay this $45,000. What the last she told me verbally it was about $35,000. I don't know that, but she's waiting, I think, on confirmation of whether they're going to get paid.
And I also have a question. If you're only missing the grant stuff and you've been working on the grant stuff, her so hear this out. The $45,000 invoice was supposed to be her up-to-date invoice. Am I correct, Attorney Wiley?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The
basically,
latest invoice, yes.
Yeah. So basically, when we pay her this $45,000, then that is all the work that she has done, and the only thing left to do is the grant. So unless she's gonna charge us $20,000 for some grants, I think we need to put a cap on it because by her own admission, we are up to date. The only thing left the draft is done. So we pay her this $45,000. That brings us current with the work that she's done. Am I correct?
Yes, that's what she
Okay.
told us, yes.
So we need to decide to tell her, wrap it up for a certain amount, or we're gonna let her tell us how much she's gonna charge us to wrap it up.
So she's already, the current outstanding amount is $45,000. And so the options are that she presented, do we complete the engagement, complete our work under the current contract? That's with up to $95,000. That's a high ceiling. It's $95,000, it's a high ceiling. So you've already paid $65,000 to date, so it could be up 30 more. That's the ceiling y'all agreed to. Or prepare a new contract to revise the scope of work and remove the former city attorney's name. I guess basically she's just saying, have the contract approved with the city. That's who it should be within. It should be the contract between the city and this agreement. Even though I think the mayor, you signed alongside the.
Yeah, I did. I looked at the things.
city attorney.
I was signing, yes.
Yeah, you signed the contract too. So that's your option, y'all. If y'all want to say you will authorize the payment of the $45,000 and say we're not paying any more, this is it, send us what you have, or give us a letter saying how much would it cost to wrap it up. You know, how much more over the $45,000 that's presently outstanding do you anticipate? And maybe, you all can make a decision then. It's up to you all.
And I also want to add that both Councilwoman Messick and Councilwoman Fox emailed her last week and asked her to come, and she ignored y'all. Did she respond to y'all? Oh, so she responded to y'all? And
She said that she sent a note and said that she would leave it to you and to Attorney Wiley to
And-
get us the information.
No, but you all requested her to come. And
I
so
sent
that
an
was her
email.
saying no, that she not coming. She gonna leave it to us. Y'all
May I-
asked her to come.
May I speak, please?
No, y'all asked her, no, I'm gonna let her speak in this. I
should
am
be
in a
allowed
second,
to
but let me
speak.
get it out. What?
I should be allowed to speak.
Yeah, when I acknowledge you. Okay, so, no,
Thank you,
I'll
Attorney
acknowledge her.
Wiley.
I'm not saying I'm not gonna acknowledge her, but I just wanna be clear. They both sent emails to Plant Moran,
We
to
did
Michelle.
not. That's
I
incorrect
can read yours.
information.
I can read yours.
That is
I can
incorrect
re-
information.
Okay, you know what, she won't talk,
I
because
sent
now she
an
interrupted
email
me. She
to
interrupted
Attorney
me.
Wiley.
She has not been acknowledged, and she's interrupted me. I can go find the email and read it, where you asked
go
for her
ahead.
to come.
Please, go ahead.
Okay.
I
if-
sent an email
let-
to
let-
Attorney Wiley.
She won't be acknowledged, because she'd be talking over me, so we're good.
Have some order, and I think one person at a time. Go ahead, Madam Mayor, to you. I'll exercise some parliamentary
Yeah,
rules.
so I
think.
just want for the record, it was asked, I have asked her, and I think her response in November was no, and we had the email. Councilwoman Messick asked her, can she come? And again, she said no and deferred to us. I feel like if we're spending this money, these questions that we're asking could have been posed to her if she had showed up. But she has been asked several times. I asked her several times in November, hey, come, because y'all kept asking. We wasn't getting information from Attorney David, and I can show you the email where she clearly said no. Councilwoman Fox.
I'd never emailed Plant Moran. As soon as Councilwoman
find this
Messick
one.
emailed the council, what Plant Moran sent her and you, as well as the mayor, whoever was CC'd on that, I responded to you, and I specifically followed policy and procedure and say, Attorney Wiley, I have these concerns. Can you please provide these documents? Which I am within my right as a council member to act. If a vendor is saying, hey, they have these concerns, they haven't been paid, and the invoice was due back in December, whenever it was due, my next question is, may I see the invoices? And that's what I asked for on February 9th, and we did not get that until about 2 to 3 hours today before the council meeting, which we haven't even had a chance to review yet, and I have been asking for that information for like a month now.
So just to clarify, on February 9th, this invoice was provided. I brought up the invoice. If y'all recall, February 9th, I'm the one who brought it up, like, hey, I don't know what's going on with the forensic audit, but I got an invoice for $45,000. Should we pay? I mean, I brought it up to you all. And you guys had copies of it on February the 9th. This is what the invoice looks like. I don't know how much you got to digest. I shared it with everybody February 9th and said, hey, y'all, being transparent, I got an invoice for $45,000. For the third time, I've asked her to itemize. We already paid a retainer without itemization that's not required. We already paid a $15,000 without itemization. What do you all want to do with that? So don't come talking about, you just got it. This $45,000 invoice was given to you guys in the council meeting. I made copies and said, hey, and came to y'all and said, y'all could have voted then, go ahead and pay her $45,000. I came to you to say, hey, are y'all okay paying this? Did I not?
Right.
I came to y'all and said, and nobody said anything. And then Michelle gets ticked off, and then everybody want to start responding. So let's not talk about me not doing what I'm supposed to do. Immediately, when I realized that she was not going to itemize this, I came to you all and said, are you okay paying an unitemized $45,000 bill without an update? I don't see how I can be even more, any more, hey, here it is.
Mayor.
You were given it. I gave it to you
All right, Mayor?
and brought it to the council. Yes.
All right. So just to clarify, did either of y'all, I guess, either of you all, Councilwoman Fox, Councilwoman Messick, reach out to Michelle for her attendance at one of our meetings and ever get a reply?
The only reply I received, Mayor, may I speak?
Yes.
The only reply I received, I sent out to council, and that was that she would defer to the mayor and to the city attorney.
Okay, so my
Supply
question was, did you ever reach out to her asking her to attend any of our meetings?
The email that I sent to you, yes. I copied
So you did?
everybody. I copied everybody on that, absolutely.
Okay, and did she, so she never responded to that though, saying that she would attend our
Her
meetings?
response was she deferred to the attorney and to the mayor.
Okay, so no.
That's
And
not.
that was her reply. She apologized and said it took a few days for that to get out, if you read the email, because I sent it out to the whole council.
Okay, so I think you're answering another question than what I'm asking. I'm asking, because we are wanting Michelle Plant Moran's representative to be in attendance at the meeting, correct? So I was asking, did you ask her to be in attendance at the meeting?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and she never responded saying yes or no? Okay, that's all, thank you.
Yes, please. Councilman D. Dixon.
A Dixon.
A. Dixon. I'm still thinking of Don Dixon, because I used to have to say A and D. Go ahead.
And this is directed to Attorney Wiley. I know you said November 17th, she mentioned that she had all of the documents. She had everything that she needed except for what she didn't gather.
The mayor said November 17th. What I asked her, I only spoke to her in January, and she told me, and in February, she told me she had everything she needed in January. She said, I have all my documents, and the things that anything that I do not have is my fault that I don't have them because I didn't do the proper follow-up.
Now, with that being said, I mean, do we know exactly what those goals were, or what she was trying to get accomplished?
No, my first conversation, everything was very, very secretive, which was part of my frustration as the city attorney. I couldn't get information, and I shared that with her. Like, why is this secretive? And so we had that discussion, but she just said that's how it was before. And so, no, I did not get any details about what she had not had, what she did not get. She did say this most current, this most February 20th, the most recent one, she said that she's gonna have to go outside and hire someone, or speak to someone else in their grant to help with the grant analysis, so she needs additional help. So I don't know if that's what that will cost.
Why is she just not telling us that?
That's what's in this.
Right.
I don't know.
Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, so it seems like we had two options from what Attorney Wiley said. I don't know if those are things we have to vote on, or if they can be solved tonight, or if they have to be voted on next week. So the one is, are we gonna pay the invoice as is, the $45K? And second is, are we going to, I guess, vote to approve her, or say we want her to move forward with the completion, and that'll be like $30K, correct?
It may be up to that,
Okay. So-
because the contract is between 65 and 95, and anything above that will require her to get prior approval. So that's your ceiling.
Okay, and so while we're here, and we can move forward being transparent, she's looking at grants. I think we need a list of the grants, because we don't know what she's looking at. She ain't asked us for no grants. I don't believe we provided any. I'm looking at her list. I don't believe we provided, I can list the grants for her.
She said there were about 6 or 7 or something. I think that's why I remember her telling me.
From
I don't know
20,
what
22,
grants.
23, and 24, the only thing we had was ARPA, CDBG, and I don't believe we spent LMIG, and then, I don't know if you would consider SPLOST a grant. No, yeah, so we've only had ARPA funding, so y'all, ARPA funding goes to such great scrutiny every year. And we are up to date on our ARPA reporting. And
I did ask her I'm sorry, Madam Mayor. I did ask the question. I said, well, if you're doing grants, are these active grants? Because I know grants have reporting requirements. Are you saying that are there closed grants? And she wouldn't tell me. So I don't know.
And then that's why I feel like we need her to be honest. Ms. Karen can speak to this. We have our deadline coming up April 26th. So I can tell you 1 year we didn't spend any money because we were saving it for public works. But we are in compliance because otherwise we wouldn't be able to come get our ARPA funding. We're in compliance with CDBG because every year, and this year, Taylor did our CDBG audit, didn't you? Yeah, and did we pass? Yes, we did. Yeah, so our CDBG grants, we'd have to do an audit through that department every year. So if that's the only thing that's outstanding and it's already been done, like, why would we pay her again?
Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, so Councilwoman Messick, Councilwoman Fox, if y'all had to lean towards one of the options, what are y'all thinking? Because it seems like y'all are very much, supportive of the forensic audit. So I'm just trying to see where y'all land.
How much money y'all want to spend?
I would like to see us finish up with where we're at, but I'm definitely not opposed to a cap.
But, so caps don't work like that. So if we know anything, we know that you give them a cap, they spend to the cap. That's been true for the attorneys, not you, Attorney Wiley. For all the other forensic, if we cap them at 10,000,
The original
20,000, they come in at 19, just like she made this fit. We gotta tell them what we want.
But
You know, we
Mayor-
can put a cap on it, but then it might be halfway through. She gonna spend whatever we cap.
Mayor,
Yes.
so if we were to say, because we know right now we have an outstanding bill with her with $45,000.
Yes, ma'am.
And she says she's completed all the work except for grants. And the mayor
Yes.
says that the grants are all accounted for and in line.
Yeah, so what's the allegation regarding the grant? Because this is a great time for us to be transparent.
Mayor,
Yes.
I don't want to keep going back and forth with this. I'm trying to get to a point of like, so you do want them to review the grants, or you're good with where the grants are?
I'm asking the mayor, she says we're in line.
Yeah, y'all want, I can show you
Grants.
that. I'm sorry, excuse me. Taylor can give you all of our, she has a whole big old folder of all of our CDBG compliance. Karen can pull our ARPA yearly funding and look and show that everything is in there. And we haven't, y'all know, like when we get grants, I tell y'all. So we didn't have any other grants that year.
Okay.
I'm almost, but I can just double check. I don't think we did. We can talk with Shelby, but I can promise you.
Mayor,
We
so
did.
the information from 2023 and 2024, which was in the scope, is,
22.
They
oh,
did
2022
yeah.
is good to go. Okay, so the only thing that's outstanding is the possible grant stuff, which we are thinking about taking off the table so we can close this out at the 45K. Okay.
That would be my recommendation, and I can provide those documents for you.
Okay, perfect.
Make a
Okay.
motion, make a motion.
And then, because I don't have the authority to make someone come, so I can say that the council wants you to finish it, wrap it up, where you are now, leave the grant compliance analysis where it is, give us the final report, and come to a council meeting to provide the report. Do we want to say that, the April meeting, the April meeting, or you want her here next week, y'all? I don't know.
April.
Next week would be
April.
great if
April.
it's ready.
If she could come in
There was some
April.
family issues.
I mean, next week would be great
I'm
if
just
she's
saying, we
ready.
probably gotta pay for that flight, so.
And are y'all willing, yeah.
Well, we can do it, let's see when she can come, and if necessary, be open to a special call meeting.
I'll say that we want you as early as next week, the meeting next week, and then if she
Do you-
can't,
Mayor,
Yes, I'm sorry.
do we feel like she's got the report complete? Because I want her here with the completed report.
she told me that it was draft, the beautiful, she thought it was, everything was essentially done except the grants. That's what she verbal, and then here she says the open items, grant compliance analysis, and then she has the report. So I think she has a draft report pending completion of the grant compliance component. But if we ask her, based on y'all directed, to just leave that where it is, or just, and give us everything else that you've completed, and we'll pay you the $45,000, if that's the will of the body, I will certainly, we'd like for you to come and present this as early as possible, March 9th or soon thereafter. I'll tell her that tomorrow. Get a motion to that effect, and I'll act accordingly.
I don't wanna murky this anymore, but we did find out, and this was another disappointing thing, she did not have credit card statements for 2022.
Oh.
And so we just got those back from Truist. And so how she could get all the way through and not have credit card statements for 2022? Could you verify that? And if not, I would like for her to add those statements. We just got them from Truist, that we have the credit card statements for 2022. Can you ask her if she has those?
That would be, Mayor.
Yes.
I completely agree, because it would be very difficult to do it.
Yeah, but again, she said she had everything she
Included,
needed.
that was one of the
Except
main
for
things
what
that
it was her
requested.
fault. She told me she had everything she needed. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's
Except for items, what she didn't have was her fault. So I don't know if that's what she referenced. I didn't know this.
No, so can you, if you count, Attorney Wiley, if you would ask her if she has credit card statements for 2022, because that's what she should have been asking us for.
Do you have them?
I just got them. What, last week, they came, like last week? Because they had to go in and archive them. We didn't have that system after we switched over to all new credit cards. We had to go get them from there. So let me just rephrase this. Council, I will entertain a motion to ask Plant Moran to continue to complete the audit without the grant compliance portion, and to seek clarification if she's reviewed credit card statements for 2022. If she does not have those, that would be the only outstanding item to be reviewed.
And to pay the $45,000?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and pay the $45,000.
That's part of the
Okay,
motion.
wait, okay.
I'm cool with that, but I'm, just a question. If she doesn't have the credit card statements, is that gonna cause the invoice to increase?
Yeah, I mean, but I do feel, can we go and ask her that the remaining rate has to be at $300 based on what, I mean, because I feel like that's only fair. No, I mean, because it clearly said a blended rate of 300, and we've given her 90-some hours at 450 and above. She can give us 10 at 300. That's a
I'll try to negotiate the 2022 because it's just 12 months. So I don't know.
But she
I'll try to
assured us, and then we can go back and look at the record, that I don't do all this at the highest rate, because that was my biggest concern. How do we know who does what?
Mayor, that's something for you.
Yes, sir.
And I guess my only concern, or not maybe only concern, but one of my concerns would be to the work that she didn't gather November 17th, or whenever that date was, and if that work that she didn't gather will be charged for, seeing that it was her fault that why she didn't gather the work. So.
I'll certainly relay that sentiment and let y'all know.
And we don't know what it is. That's what I mean.
If it could be, I don't know either. I didn't know about what you just said.
And if it is those statements, could we just provide her those statements, or does she have to go get them out the mud how we did?
No. We will provide it. But I think, to be completely transparent, if she needed those statements or wanted them, she should have asked for them by now. As early as way back in November 7th, when she was here, is there anything else you need? And I have it in writing where she said no. And also she said the only thing outstanding is grants. She didn't say the only thing that outstanding is grants, but hey, Mayor, we didn't get no 2022 statements. But I do want to verify whether she has them. And if she does have them, I stand corrected. If she doesn't have them, I feel like that's a bigger problem. I guess you're just going to give us a report without doing that, and that was one of the key things you're supposed to be looking at.
Will you send those to me, Madam
Yes, please.
Mayor?
Yes, I literally just got them last week. All right, so did everybody hear the motion? I entertain a motion.
You have the motion clear?
Mm-hmm. So made.
So made.
Well, Mayor, I'm sorry.
You want me to repeat again?
Please.
Yes, I will. I'll entertain a motion at this time to have Plant Moran complete our forensic audit without the grant, what was that word you used? About the grant compliance review. And to ask her if she's completed a credit card synopsis for 2022. If not, then we will provide those documents for her, and that is the only thing that we're asking her to complete, and to consider completing it at a blended rate. That's the motion.
And to authorize the payment of the $45,000
Yes.
outstanding.
I was gonna do a
invoice.
separate motion for that, to keep them
Oh,
clean.
okay.
So made.
I second that motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? At this time, I entertain a motion for approval to pay the $45,000 invoice dated 12/30/2025 for Plant Moran.
So made.
Motion made.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Council, thank you so much. I feel like that was the best part of the
Madam
meeting.
Mayor, I'm sorry. What
Did we
about
do
the
something
directive
wrong?
for her to come here before you?
Oh, I'll entertain a motion that further engagement would be based on her coming and presenting her findings in a public forum.
I couldn't hear you.
Further engagement will be based on her agreement to come present finding in a public forum.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you so very much, Council. I feel like we're finally bringing this to an end. Attorney Wiley, was there anything else that we needed to review? While we're on that, I do want to publicly thank the staff for making sure that we did get everything in time, and we appreciate you all, and we'll continue to work with her. I just want to take a point of personal privilege really quickly. We have completed, we have gotten the final piece of information that we needed for our regular audit. Karen submitted that to Tab and sent an email out, and hopefully by next week we'll have a completed report for you on that. We didn't get the letter from the attorney until Friday, and so we got that into them. Just wanted to add that. Is there any reason for executive session?
No, Mayor and Council.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mayor, before we just get out of here, I just wanted to take a point of personal privilege just to ask everyone to keep
Can we,
their,
oh, okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
yeah, just wanted to ask everyone to keep their eyes on House Bill 942. Definitely will be a huge impact for Clayton County, so just wanted you all to keep your eyes on that. And also Senate Bill 133 and House Bill 1099, and that's to ensure every blind or visually impaired child in grades K through 12 discern to learn Braille. So just wanted to put that on y'all's radar, and I appreciate y'all.
Thank you all so very much. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. Let me close it out and then we'll say it. So there's a motion on the floor to an appropriate second. No further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Any opposition? All right, those that are joining us live and in person, we have our first annual Trash Wars on Saturday. Anybody want to do a campaign speech to get somebody on y'all team? If not, Team Mayor is the best team. Join up. Council, I will ask if you all was, I'll send y'all a text tonight. Make sure you all pay attention to that text for me. Thank you all so much for your time this evening.
Thanks, y'all.